Levy. Technical director.
Brought to you by Allstate Insurance Company. You're in good hands with Allstate. By Schlitz. Beer makes it good. Schlitz makes it great. And by Dodge and your Dodge dealer, who invites you to come in and see why people are saying, hey, that's my Dodge. Gowdy, John Brody inside the Kingdome. Right down below us in white with their orange pants, the Denver Broncos. They're tied with the Oakland Raiders. 5 wins and 3 losses for the lead in the Western Division of the American Football Conference. Across the way is Jack Patera and his ball club. And we want to welcome the fans who have been watching the Kansas City-Pittsburgh game. The Blue Wave today against the Orange Crush. And I want to tell you, in both locker rooms that we were there and talking to the coaches out in the field a couple of hours before the ball game. Here's the toss.
Denver's choice. You want the football?
Denver has won the toss. They elect to receive. So Seattle in blue, the dark jerseys, will be kicking off from your right. And Denver will be receiving on your left. But we're just past the midseason mark. A young Jim Zorn warming up his passing arm, number 10. We have one final already in. The New England Patriots walloped the New York Jets today, 55-21. A big day, maybe the greatest game he's ever played for Steve Grogan. 4 touchdown passes in the first half, and he hit 15 out of 19. I think he was the only passer, John, in the American Conference under 50%. When he gets hot along with his leadership and running ability, he can have a tremendous game.
You know, I think that percentage is so overrated in discussion of quarterbacks. He's an under 50% thrower, but Joe Namath was too, and there was never a more accurate thrower. A lot of it has to do with the style of offense you play, and Jim Zorn has just become a high percentage passer. The first 2 years in Seattle, he was under 50% both years, but still very effective. This year, he seems to have so many tools to work with. He's playing the same style, but he's raised his percentage to 60. Grogan's an outstanding quarterback. He has all the qualities that a quarterback needs. He doesn't miss many open receivers. So that percentage, to me, you can file.
Elfin Herrera will kick off. And back deep for Denver. Nearest to you, Bernard Jackson. And the other man is Perrin, who's a unique stylist in this league in that he kicks off and receives kicks off. A very rare combination. Here's the kickoff. Jackson watches it sail out of bounds, and Seattle now will come back and kick off from their own 30-yard line. When Denver goes on the offense, they'll have Craig Morton starting at quarterback. Otis Armstrong, number 24, John Keyworth, 32, will be the running backs. And the Broncos will be alternating 6 running backs in the game. The wide receivers will be Jack Dalbin, Haven Moses, Riley Odoms having his best year as a tight, and some changes in the offensive line.
Well, you know, you mentioned Riley Odom's having his best year. He had so many good ones early. Now he's raising again to the level of play he once did. Claudie Minor's playing good football for him, but they've made some changes in their offensive three in the tight spots. Tom Glassick, Bill Bryan, Bobby Maples are all playing in a little bit foreign spot. We'll get into it more after the kickoff.
All right, Herrera now booting from his own 30. And this one is coming deep. It's handled by Perrin on the 2. 15, Perrin to the 20, and he's tripped up and he goes down. And there, the flag dropped on the field. He went down to his own 25-yard line. The first flag. Last week, Denver had 12 penalties called against them when they were against the Baltimore Colts. 11 holding penalties, 3 on their right tackle, Tom Neville. This penalty is going against Denver. And Red Miller is still moaning about all those penalties.
Well, sometimes you get into, you know, everyone has habits, and pretty soon a guy gets a couple penalties and somebody says, what's he been doing? Let's take a look. They don't take their eyes off him for 3 or 4 games. It looks like Neville's the effect.
Receivers during the return.
And that one is against Godwin Turk for holding. So the Broncos are pinned now deep in their own territory. For their first series, they're on their 12-yard line. Moses in motion. Otis Armstrong. Oh, he racked up with a 14. A big hit there by Terry Beeson, number 58, the young middle linebacker. Up front, Ernie Price at left end. Dennis Boyd at left tackle for Seattle. Bill Sandifer, the right tackle. Bill Gregory, the right end. They play a 4-3. The linebackers are Green, Beeson, and a rookie, Keith Butler. Webster, Brown are the cornerbacks. Beeman and Harris are the safety men. And we have limping off there Bill Bryan. And this offensive line, John, is already an injury problem. And we welcome the fans that have been watching the Cleveland-Buffalo game, won by Cleveland 41-20, a final. So you haven't missed anything right here. We're just underway. First play has been run of the game. Denver's gained 2 yards. They have a 2nd and 8, and they're on their own 14-yard line. And over the 15, coming out, Webster makes the hit on Lonnie Perrin.
All right, Glenn Hyde, a new fella in there. They've already had some problems at guards and center. Schindler is out. Howard is out. Now they're playing with Glassick in there. They're playing with Maples. They were playing with Bryan. Now they put Glenn Hyde, who is really a tackle who has to play guard. On that play, he made his move. He hit somebody, got things underway. Sometimes a move like that can be permanent.
Double tight end offense. Third down, a yard to go for the Broncos, under 21. He may have it, ramming straight ahead. Inside yardage error by Lonnie Perrin. He's just short of his 25. He's on his 24.
Okay, pretty good play up the middle. You can see Denver would like to attack the middle. The 3 fellas right in the gut did a good job, picks up 3.
Glenn Hyde has replaced Bryan at right guard. He was the only extra offensive lineman the Broncos had. First down for the Broncos on their 24. Standard close set. Play action pass. The toss is over the head. There's a flag down. Dolbin is interfered with by Cornell Webster. Webster pushed him in the back from behind as Dolbin was going up for the throw.
It looked like Cornell Webster was sitting right in the Denver huddle because he made a move for the ball before the offensive receiver could.
Defense, first down.
And Dolbin made a good play by getting in front of it, or he'd have picked the ball off. You can see Seattle has to be a little antsy. I mentioned earlier that comfort is the key thing here. Getting used to playing in big games. Not big games to you, but big games on the outcome of the conference. And I look for it to be a little unsettling for a while.
They're in a slot right formation for the first time. First down, Denver on their own 36. Flags are dropped. You saw that blur motion. The pass is out to Riley Odom. He has it. He steps out of bounds at the 39 or 38-yard line of the Seattle Seahawks. Penalties are coming up. They're going to confer down there at the, this may be going against Seattle. Offside. That's against Bill Sandifer, the right tackle, who was way offside. And now Denver has the first down on the Seattle 39-yard line. The Seattle young defense has been erratic. As you look at the standings we gave you earlier, they had an excellent week last week against Oakland, and they started off here very rattled in this game. First down, Denver on the Seattle 39. Moses going in motion. Straight up the middle goes John Keyworth. Keyworth is hit by Sammy Green, the left linebacker. And they stop him at the 30-yard line of the Seahawks.
Good play again by Bobby Mabels, getting a chance to play after a long layout. And you don't just walk into the center of the line and do your job. You can see he made a good play on Boyd. He allowed Keyworth to get through, pick up about 8 yards, and they are on the move.
Second down, 2. Just short of the Seattle 30. The veteran Morton. Pitch. Otis Armstrong. Armstrong hit by Cornell Webster. Armstrong crossed the 25, has another first down for the Broncos.
The Broncos have been getting excellent surge off the ball. You can see they're pulling both guard and tackle. Both Neville and Hyde are coming out. Get a good piece of the cornerback, turn up inside, get the linebacker. That's the way running backs pick up yards, getting to the point of attack without anybody hitting them. Now they've got another first down.
First down, Denver. They've had 4 in a row. They're on the Seattle 24. Keyworth, the lone setback. Keyworth has the ball. Keyworth hit, struggles forward, and is to the 20-yard line of the Seattle Seahawks. And he was hit there by Terry Beeson, a second-year man out of the University of Kansas.
It's hard to over-amplify the importance of Denver having a good drive early. Last week, Seattle absolutely stuffed Oakland. If you let them get off fast again, it might be a real long afternoon for Denver offensively. They know they haven't been moving the ball. It's a very important drive.
And that's Bill Bryan, the starting right guard, who is injured. He's been replaced by Glenn Hyde. Second down, 6. Peter Cronin has come into the game, a 4th linebacker, trying to stop this Denver attack. And there goes Lonnie Perrin, who's come in as a running back. Bill Gregory comes over to hit him.
Beeson, real fine young linebacker. Some say he's as good from tackle to tackle as there is in the National Football League. He might lack a little bit of range, but he's very tough to run straight ahead at.
Denver has the ball at the 17-yard line of Seattle. There are 2 young running backs now. Dave Preston has come in. And with him is Larry Canada. He's a load. He's hard to stop for short yardage. But Morton's going to pass. Incomplete. Trying to hit Dave Preston coming out of the backfield. Morton changed it up. They were running well and suddenly changed up and missed the 3rd down pass.
I have absolutely no criticism of the fact they threw the ball. 3 yards in a short yardage situation is a long way to get. However, he's got good protection. He puts Preston on a little bitty curl, leads him a little too far, runs him right into the linebacker, Beeson. Their drive is dead.
Now we'll have Morton holding at the 24. A 34-yard field goal attempt by Jim Turner. He's 5 out of 10. And his kick is up. The kick is good, and Denver's on the scoreboard. Broncos took the ball on the 12, went to the Seattle 17. The drive stalled, and they get their 3 points. Timeout. Denver 3, Seattle nothing.
This is the Kmart 672, Kmart's best car battery. Like another leading premium battery, the 672 is calcium lead constructed. Like one other premium battery, it's truly maintenance-free, completely sealed so you never add water. But the 672 has one other feature you'll find only in Kmart automotive products. The 672, Kmart's best battery, is Kmart priced.
Hey, how'd you like some free gasoline when you fill up?
I like it a lot.
Change to new Quaker State Sterling motor oil.
You're telling me an oil change?
Will get you better gas mileage. See, Quaker State Sterling is a whole new kind of oil, specially blended to lubricate better than regular oils. Less friction, so your engine will work less hard.
And use less gasoline.
It'll be like getting extra gas for free. Change to new Quaker State Sterling. It's like getting free gas with every tankful.
San Diego 7, Oakland nothing. First period, a run by Hank Bauer. They're working on the right ankle of Bryan. Is questionable. He'll return to the game at right guard.
Well, you know, if Hyde keeps playing the way he has played in the past drive, it's going to be tough to get him out of there.
Lonnie Perrin is going to kick off for the Broncos. And deep will be Al Hunter, number 24, and Rufus Crawford, a rookie, number 34. Hunter will be closest to you. Denver, the last couple of games, has averaged over 300 yards a game. And talking to Babe Perilli, their quarterback coach, John, he says their trouble is not moving the ball, but when they get down there, they're not scoring.
And a lot of times, even though the quarterback is responsible to score points, Kurt, it isn't his deal. Sometimes you don't find any good plays to capitalize the defensive weakness. You go in little streaks like that. The cycle always changes. You just have to hang through it.
Perrin's kick, a good one. Hunter backpedaling, coming out with it. Out to the 20. To the 30, an excellent run back. He'll be down at his 34-yard line, a 39-yard return by former Notre Dame star Al Hunter.
The first offensive play for the Seahawks. It looks like pretty good blocking at the point of attack. However, Hunter dips in, dips outside, gets a good help from his outside wedge man, runs the ball into good field position, and that's where you want to start if you're playing in your first big game.
On the 34, Jim Zorn puts him down. He'll have Sherm Smith and Don Testament as his running back. Zorn is a left-hander, and he can scramble. Hard to contain. The pass out. It is complete to the 44.
Now that's some kind of catch. I've heard an awful lot about Largent. They say he doesn't have great speed. He's got excellent control of his body. We haven't seen an awful lot of Largent. However, the defensive teams that play against him have seen an awful lot of him for the past 3 years. He's got 35 catches so far this year. He's tied for the lead in the league. And Zorn says he can do about anything you ask him to do. That's good enough for me.
A first down for the Seahawks on their own 44. Denver ahead 3-0, first period. A little mixed up there. Sherman Smith started one way and saw, hey, there's nothing there. Changed direction, and he's brought down by Barney Chavis, number 79, the end of the Denver Broncos. There's the line. It's a very young offensive line and doing well.
Well, John Yarno, in Howard Mudd, the offensive line coach's opinion, is the best young center in football. He's really kind of coordinated with a bunch of young kids, a couple old veterans in Bebout and Newton, and they've been doing an excellent job.
Rizzo's out. Maroney's in for the Denver Broncos. Zorn, Smith, 50-yard line. Sherm Smith tackled on the Denver 48. Smith, first 2 years, leading ball carrier. He's missed 4.5 games this year with a shoulder injury, but he can go. He was a quarterback at Miami of Ohio. And listen to his record as a quarterback. 33 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie in his collegiate career. They drafted him, projected him as a wide receiver, John. Now they've made him into a strict running back.
I don't think they've made him into one. He was one when he came out. He just played the position of quarterback. He has the ability to get things done, and we'll talk about him after the next play.
Seattle's on Denver 48. Third down and 2 yards to go. 3 wide receivers in. Rabel's come in. And Zorn is going to throw for it. He runs. He can run. He has a first down. He's brought down on the 44. He loves. That wasn't a quarterback draw. He just came out of the pocket. He loves to run the quarterback draw play, too.
Well, everybody loves to run any play that's wide open. And what the Seahawk offense has implemented is different ways for Jim Zorn to get out of the pocket, get up through the defensive line rush, do a lot of things, sprint outs, fake draw plays. They find a way to utilize the talents that Zorn has, and he has a lot of talent.
He wasn't even drafted. We talk about all these computers.
Yeah, a lot of great ones weren't drafted.
Yeah, all these great scouts. And he is becoming maybe the best young quarterback in the league. Zorn is going deep. Deep. He's got him. Touchdown. Sam McCullum for the score. Sam McCullum wide open.
Well, it's one thing to throw for a touchdown early in a big game, but when you beat the best cornerback in football by most people's viewpoint in Lewis Wright, you are beating something that's pretty rare. That time Zorn had good protection from his offensive line. He's looking over to his left. He's looking to his left. He's getting the free safety out of the hole. When he throws the ball, he's got McCullum down the field. Over the top of Louis Wright, you can see trying to catch up. He knows he's had his act eaten up. The score is about to be tied.
Louis Wright is so good that a lot of teams don't even throw in his direction. And Zorn just threw over him. Here's the point by Herrera. It's good. And Seattle comes right back. And each team has scored on its first series. Timeout in the Kingdome with a score. Seattle 7 and Denver 3.
40 years ago, these four-wheel drive Dodge trucks helped America do a really tough job. This year, the Dodge four-wheel drive Power Wagons will do more tough jobs than ever. With standard full-time four-wheel drive that costs extra on Ford and Chevy, and the W150 has the lowest price of any short wheelbase four-wheel drive pickup built in America. Dodge Power Wagons, doing America's toughest jobs for more than 40 years.
Dodge is into trucking, like America's into jeans.
Hey, that's my Dodge.
Protecting your car radiator against freezing up when it's freezing outside, that's the mark of Xerex. Xerex Antifreeze. Protecting your radiator against boiling over when it's boiling outside. That's the mark of Xerex. Protecting your radiator against rust no matter what it's doing outside. That's the mark of Xerex. Three-way protection all year long. That's the mark of Xerex.
The game-breaking plays, the hottest new craze, all pros in action, the latest in fashion, straight-talking views and late-breaking news, the pregame show that has it all, NFL 78.
Jim Zorn just hit his 8th touchdown pass of the season. He's up on the phone now to the offensive coordinator, and here is Herrera to kick off. Bernard Jackson and Lonnie Perrin are the kickoff return specialist for the Broncos. It's a high kick. They should get coverage on this one. Jackson fields it on the 9. To the 20. 25. And he's met there at the, let's see where they're going to mark his forward progress. Down there covering the kick, Sammy Green, a linebacker. And also down.
Kurt, Jim Zorn just threw a touchdown pass, puts him ahead 7-3, but look at why. You know, when people are saying, hey, we got Tony Dorsett in Dallas, who were those idiots up there in the Pacific Northwest to let him get out of their grasp? Guys like John Yarno. Well, Tom Lynch and Steve August, 2 first-string linemen, were part of that trade. They've got 2 more to go with them. They feel very good about it.
Play action pass. Morton on first down. Oh, nearly intercepted. Cornell Webster flashed across, timed it perfectly, couldn't quite grab it. Pass intended for Haven Moser.
Do you get the feeling that Denver thinks they can pick on the left side of the Seahawks defense?
It is obvious they feel that way.
They're trying, but they haven't been too effective throwing the ball yet.
Now Canada comes in at fullback. Rob Lytle is the other running back. Keith Thompson, a rookie from Memphis State. And Peter Cronin comes in. They're in the defense against the pass. 2nd and 10 for the Broncos on their 25. That's Larry Canada. Look at him roll. He has a first down. He is a first-year player. He left camp his rookie year, laid out all year, and came back this year.
You know, I started to say something about Sherman Smith and how valuable he is. Larry Canada is an outstanding ball player, outstanding ball carrier. So far, he doesn't complement the team well with all the other things that need to be done. Sherman Smith seems to do that. Jerry Rome said he was the most important back on their football team. Larry Canada may become a very important part of the Denver offense in the future.
That's John Keyworth. First down and more. He's racing to the 40, to the 35, and he's out of bounds. at the 31-yard line of Seattle to mark it. Autry Beamham, the strong safety, drove him out. Keyworth, who has been exceptional this year on first down plays.
And he's going to continue to be exceptional as long as that offensive line does the job they have done in the first 2 series. These running backs are having more room to run than they've had in the previous 3 games. Here we go. Look at this. That's what you call good blocking. When you get somebody at the point of attack, able to break into the secondary, and here he's got everything going his way before Autry Beamham brings him down, and Denver's on the move.
All right, Lytle and Larry Canada, the running back. Larry Canada has the ball to 30. He's met and down to the 28. And when you stop him like that with a one-on-one tackle like Cornell Webster did, you've done a job. Canada weighs 229 pounds. He's a rumbler.
They'd like to get Canada out into a one-on-one situation one more time and let Cornell Webster try it. That is not a cornerback's dream.
2nd down, 7. Canada goes out. Lonnie Perrin replaces him. Denver on the Seattle 28. Seattle ahead 7-3. 5:40 remaining in the first period. Lytle, 25. Lytle skips to the 20. Inside the 20 for a first down, the former Michigan star. Tackled by Keith Butler, a rookie. Finals, New England 55, the Jets 21. New England now has won 7 and lost 2. Washington rallied and beat the 49ers 35-20. They were trailing in that game. Pittsburgh, closer than expected over Kansas City, 27-24. Steelers have lost only 1. Cleveland rolled against Buffalo, 41-13. First down. The Broncos on the Seahawks, 18. That's Larry Canada.
You hate to be redundant, Kurt. However, the offensive line for Denver, particularly the guards in the center, are moving people out of the middle. It allows their backs to cut back. It gives them a chance to find holes. Second drive in a row, they're moving at will.
What they're doing with these backs, they're sending plays in. The Cardinals win their first one. They upset the Eagles 16-10. Bud Wilkinson's first victory as a professional coach. And here, Cincinnati not only won a game, but scored some touchdowns.
Everybody's getting off the schneid today.
13, right. Lytle on the sweep. Lytle to the 10 and goes to the 8-yard line. And he'll have another first down.
You know, a guy like Glenn Hyde getting his first chance to play. Watch him pull, number 65. Here comes Perrin in to try and cut off the pursuit. He can't really find a way to do it. However, Hyde's out, kicks the cornerback out. Lytle cuts underneath, picks up a few yards, enough for a first down, and they've got everybody hustling on the offensive line for Denver today.
Now, they're really moving on the ground. They're ripping Seattle apart. They had a long drive that was stalled. They kicked the field goal, and the Seahawks came right back, 66 yards, a 44-yard pass from Zorn to McCullum, and now Denver's back knocking on the gate. Keyworth and Lytle. The setback. Keyworth, flag down. Keyworth plunges to the 2-yard line. And we have a flag drop.
And it's got to be against Denver. It looked like somebody in the interior line, one of the middle 3, just jumped the gun a touch. And a touch is too much.
Illegal procedure against the Broncos. This will move the ball back to the Seattle 13 and make it first down and 13 to go for a touchdown. Giants 17. New Orleans 7 in the 3rd quarter. We saw Detroit last week, 21-17 over the Bears in the 4th quarter. Lions looked excellent last week.
Still moving the ball.
They hadn't moved it up until last Sunday. Tampa Bay, 7-6, a tight one there in the 4th period.
Illegal procedure.
You know, Kurt,
The center. First down.
that it's ironic, but the last 6 victories for both expansion teams have been on the same days.
I know it. Every time Tampa Bay has won or lost, Seattle has done the same thing.
It's a little scary.
They're hoping Tampa Bay wins today, the Seattle fans, because their team usually follows a pattern. That's Lonnie Perrin. Perrin is taken at the 7-yard line on a knifing tackle by Keith Butler, the rookie, the right linebacker.
And it was a knifing tackle, a saving tackle. It seems like all the offensive linemen for Denver are getting on somebody and making some movement. And when you do that, your offensive backs are just crying for the ball in there. They don't see many holes like this. He chose to go left, could have gone right. We could see just as big a hole that way. It only happens when everybody's getting after people.
2nd down, 7 to go for a Denver touchdown. John Keyworth is alone set back. Jack Patera looking on from the far sideline. That's Keyworth. He's inside the 5. Another flag goes down. And are these penalties going to plague the Broncos again like they did last week in Baltimore? Denver's already rushed for 106 yards. This again is against Denver.
Say, in a continuation from last week, if they moved the ball this well last week, and they did mention that they have been moving the ball pretty well, this is the 9th holding penalty against their offensive team. Well, holding penalties are something unto their own because they almost stop your drive 100% of the time. You've got to come up with a 20-yard play, and there aren't many of those around.
Now they're set back to the Seattle 17.
Holding, number 62. Repeat, second down.
That's Tom Glassick playing left guard today, a starting left guard. Second down, 17 to go for a Denver touchdown. Peter Cronin, reserve linebacker. Keith Thompson, a fifth secondary back, on the field. Perrin and Lytle are the back. The flare's out to Perrin. He can't hold on to it. An incomplete forward pass. It'll be 3rd down, 17 to go for a Bronco touchdown.
And that's just good defensive secondary work. Morton had plenty of time to throw the ball to one of his intended receivers. He had both Dalbin and Moses down the field. Neither of them open. He had to come off late. The linebacker was all over the back. And that's what those offensive holding penalties do.
Denver, Craig Morton is 1 out of 4 passing. Coming on the field, Keyworth and the rookie Dave Preston, an excellent receiver for a back. They put him in there in a passing situation, probably. 3rd down, 17. The backs are out. Everybody's out. Morton's toss. Oh, it was there. Incomplete. Riley Odom, the tight end, couldn't hold on to it.
That has to be one of the 2 or 3 balls that Riley Odom has dropped all year. And most of the time, when he has caught the ball, he has picked up a first down or made a big play with it. He's having an absolutely superior year. On this occasion, however, Morton stepped right up into the pocket. You see he's getting pretty good pressure. However, he puts the ball right where it's got to be caught. Odoms comes down with that ball 10 out of 11 times.
Slightly deflected there by John Harris. This will be a 35-yard attempt by Turner. The kick is up, and it is no good. Off to the right. He missed the field goal. Well, we'll be back. Seattle has the ball when we return with a score. Seattle 7 and Denver 3.
I love our new house, but I wish we could get a break on the insurance.
You can get a break with Allstate. Our new house discount cuts 10% off.
Honey?
It's okay. 10% off?
10% off our base homeowner's premium.
Ooh. Your home is 5 years old or less.
Yeah.
Then you qualify for our new house discount.
Now, that's a real break.
No, just a bruise.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
And that's a promise from us, the good hands people.
From South Carolina to North Dakota, they know what makes a state fair a great fair.
Beer makes it good.
There's just one Schlitz.
There's no debate.
Nothing else comes near. Beer makes it good. When you're out of Schlitz, Schlitz makes it great. You're out of beer.
11 million times a day, America reaches for a Schlitz. Every drop chill lagered for quality since 1849.
Schlitz makes it like no other good. Schlitz makes it great.
Christy McNichol, as a young Jewish girl, risks all to help a fleeing Nazi POW.
I love you, Anton.
Summer of My German Soldier, Monday.
An update on the New Orleans score. Dick Nolan's group just made a fourth-quarter touchdown. Take the lead over the New York Giants, 21-14 on a Tony Galbraith 20-yard run.
Seattle's had the ball 5 plays in the game. Denver 19 plays, yet Seattle's ahead. Thanks to that young man, Jim Zorn. First down on the 20. Don Testerman, third-year back out of Clemson, is tackled there by Lyle Alzado, who's enjoying his best season, and he's had some good ones with the Broncos. They play a 3-man front with Chavis the left end, Carter the nose guard, Alzado the right end, 4 linebackers. They've all been nagged with injuries this year. Swenson, Rizzo, Radishar, Tom Jackson. Cornerbacks, Wright and Foley, Thompson and Jackson are the safety. Second down and 8. Seattle under 22. Dorn will throw it. Now he's getting outside, wings it, and throws it in the ground in front of Sherm Smith.
When you gain a reputation in this league, you can expect somebody to be there when you're trying to get to the quarterback. Lyle Alzado has become known as one of the best pass rushers in the game. However, Bob Newton took care of him. Steve August is doing his job. These guys respect Denver's defensive front three, but they're not in awe of them.
The Seahawks now are going to put a three-man wide receiver offense in. Miami leading Baltimore 2-0 in the first period. Steve Rabel, Steve Largent, Sam McCullum. Three wide receivers. The tight end Howard has left the field. 3rd down and 8 for Seattle. Deep drop, a rollout. Being chased, and he just sails it out of bounds. He's already learned to do that.
You talk about the linebacker play, Kurt. That time Gradishar took the pattern that Zorn had intended to throw away from him, making him throw the ball over the sideline out of bounds. When a guy comes back, does a lot of sprint outs, it does slim your field down some. When that happens, if you get on the proper men, he's got nowhere to go.
And one of the great return men in football, Rick Upchurch, who's returned 6 punts in his career for touchdowns. And sitting up here to my right is a man who has 8 punt returns, Jack Christensen. And Upchurch is going to try and beat him out in his career.
I think Chris played 6 years. He's coaching right now with Seattle. He played 6 years and was all-pro all 6 of them. Or played 8 and was all-pro 6 of them.
Oh, a great kick by Herm Weaver. A towering boot. Upchurch on his 27. Back to the 30. Flag is down. And he's over the 45 and down to the 47-yard line. But we had a flag dropped on the punt return. Herman Weaver really hoisted that one up. A punt of 51 yards and a return of 10. They're conferring. This is a clipping call, and the Broncos are hurting themselves with penalties here in the first period. So while the Broncos regroup for this series, we're going to take a timeout along NBC to tell you the score is Seattle 7 and Denver 3.
They came from every state in America, by car, by bus, some even on foot. The roads backed up for over 50 miles. The crowds didn't deter them, nor the mud, the rain, the discomfort, because for the nearly 500,000 people who came here on August 9th, 1969, only one thing mattered: music. Pioneer, we understand how much music means to people. So we design our high-fidelity components not to add anything nor take anything away, but to recreate all the excitement of a live performance. That's what's made us #1 today with people who care about music. Pioneer, we bring it back alive.
Among the games next Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time following NFL 78, the New England Patriots, red hot today, will be playing at Buffalo, trying to pad their lead. At 2 o'clock, Cleveland's at Houston. Houston upset today by Cincinnati. Oakland's at Kansas City. Seattle will be playing the Bears Interconference at Chicago. 4 o'clock, the Jets at Denver and Cincinnati at San Diego.
Pretty good time, Kurt, to mention that Seattle's opponents in the last, well, they're in the middle of a 7-game stretch where they're playing division playoff contenders every week. They've beaten a couple of them. They still have 3 or 4 more to play.
They're going into the I formation now. Lytle's deep. Lonnie Perrin a step ahead of him. First down from the 13. Rob Lytle. Lytle is met at the 15-yard line and stopped there. And Bill Sandifer, the right tackle, 66. Made that stop. Coming up with John Harris, the free safety, number 44. Otis Armstrong returns to the Denver backfield. 2nd down, 8, Denver.
Take a look at the methodical way that Seattle has put together their defensive front four. They get Bill Gregory from Dallas. They get Ernie Price from Detroit. They needed 2 good defensive ends. Bill Sandifer, a San Francisco 49er reject. You know, they love their group. And Dennis Boyd's been doing a great job in his 2nd year.
2nd down, 8. There's the pass to Dalvin at the 15. Dalvin, oh, he fumbled. Seattle has it. And Jack Harris, number 44, got into it. An official tries to break that up and goes down with him. Number 27 is Otzi Beeman. Harris and a Denver player started to chuck each other and go at it.
Well, it all started because there was an exceptional lick put on by about 3 of the Seahawks secondary on a little flat pass. They recovered the fumble. Price was very alert to pick the ball up. They get a turnover. Very big turnaround early in the game, so big for Seattle.
There's the left end, Ernie Price. Ernie Price recovers it.
Here we go, out to Dalvin, little hitch pass, trying to get his lineman in front of him. However, he outruns any help that he was looking for. As he does, Beeman gets him. Cornell Webster gets him. They all hit him. Somebody gets the ball with his helmet. The ball goes loose, and the Seahawks grab it.
There's Harris, number 44. He's going at it.
That ball does draw a little bit of attention.
So Seattle, the first turnover, jars to Denver. There's Price, who recovered the fumble, number 62. And the Seahawks now have the ball in the Denver 16. Time remaining in the first period, just 40 seconds. This is Dalvin. He was really rammed there by 3 of the Blue Wave. First down. Let's see how Zorn strikes against them now. They're on the Denver 16. That's Sherman Smith. Smith on a cutback is to the 12, maybe the 11-yard line. Lyle Alzado hit him, the right end, with help from number 59, Joe Rizzo.
Good offensive line, Serge. Here's a complete back. Sherman Smith. Good pass receiver, excellent blocker, has allowed David Sims to score 8 touchdowns so far this season, taking nothing away from a Sims. A Sherman Smith is an invaluable asset to a good offense. We had one in San Francisco and John David Crow, and you need one to make your offense work.
Second down, 6 to go on the 12 of Denver. Seattle in possession. They send Testament that time, Don Testament. He plows his way inside the 10 to the Denver 7 or 8 yard line. Denver is 3rd in the National Football League in allowing the fewest points, and the gun barks at the end of the first period. The expansion, Seattle Seahawks 7 and the Denver Broncos 3. We'll be back for the second quarter after these messages from your local station.
There's a Gnome-mobile leaving immediately.
There he is.
Take an outrageous ride in the Gnome-mobile tonight. Then, the story of America continues on Centennial.
You come to fight, huh?
No, to establish a fort.
Dear God, thank you for this life.
The Gnome-mobile, then Centennial tonight, starting at 7, 6 Central and Mountain.
By noon, you bring down enough timber to put up a small town. You got one tool, a chainsaw, and it's your bread and butter. On the bar, it says Homelight, but out here, it's the Chainsaw King. And right now, you can buy the King, the Homelight XL, at a king-size savings. Or choose one of 4 other Homelights and get this rugged carry case free from Homelight, the Chainsaw King.
You'll find your new Homelight at Sky Nursery in Seattle.
When I came to the Northwest, the closest bank was down in San Francisco. And then I started Seattle First. The first bank to bring you 24-hour banking at 104 locations and a way to transfer money between checking and savings by phone. And now they're using these gadgets so you don't have to wait in line so long. Just goes to show, one good idea leads to another.
For something new in banking, look for it first at Seattle First.
You're watching KING-TV, Seattle.
His receiver, Nat Moore, good for 33 yards.
Red Miller will watch his team defend now a 3rd and 2 situation. Seattle on the Denver 8. Edward Gowdy and John Brody as we open the second period here in Seattle. He's hit hard, Smith, and on second effort, he squirmed another yard or 2. He'll be close to the first down, Sherm Smith.
I think it's definitely a first down unless they blew the whistle before he made that last surge. And that's what you call good offensive line play. They're playing the group that's respected to be the best defensive front wall in football. And these guys on 3 running plays have stuffed them from the 16 to the 6. Where they put that ball is going to be very critical. Looks like they could have marked it just short of the 16. You see a little concern.
It is 4th down on the 7-yard line. They want to measure. And there's the score. New Orleans steps it up more. 28-17 now. The Saints over the New York Giants. In total offense in the first period, Denver outgained the Seahawks almost 2-1. Denver had 133 yards. Seattle 76. All right, they're short. 2 tight ends. Bullard, Howard are in there. Duke Ferguson goes out.
This has been the personality of Seattle ever since their group got started. Now this shows me a little stuff. When a guy's in a big game, 7-3, they can take a lead by a touchdown. He says, violently, we can pick up 6 inches. Let's get it.
4th down and a foot to go. Smith and Testerman the backs. Could have a sneak here by Zorn. Trying to draw him off. Testerman diving. Looks like he has it. He had that long signal count and was hoping that one of those Broncos would charge.
That's good. Sometimes a quarterback's a little reluctant to take any chances down there with 6 inches to go because maybe one of his own men will drop. You can see they're all very confident together. I think they picked the first down up. They have to get to that stripe. They only picked up about 4 inches. Looks to me like they got 6.
While they bring the sticks out, John, we'll say this telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Seattle Seahawks and the National Football League is prohibited. They just got the first down.
That's all you need.
That's right.
We mentioned Jim Zorn's coming on. His offensive line's been doing a job. Awful tough down here. You can see you don't see any orange and white. Testerman goes over the top, picks up just enough.
1st and 6 to go for a Seattle touchdown. The Seahawks are ahead 7-3 early in the second quarter. Now time called. This infant franchise, you don't think they can put points on the board? Look at that. This is 1977 and 78, and they're tied for 4th with the most touchdowns in the National Football League.
You know what's impressive? They're playing against teams with better defenses than they have, and they're still doing it.
Durham Smith crawls almost to the 4-yard line. Tackled by Bob Swenson, the left outside linebacker.
Here you go. A back loves a situation where he can get to the line of scrimmage. Nobody's got that solid contact on him that he can't squiggle and wiggle a little bit. Perfect display of it.
2nd down, 4 to go for a Seattle touchdown. Largent's in the game now. Had a double tight end, Steve Largent's in. He's just set outside the left end. The pass, he's rushed. Incomplete. They had a big rush on him. Coming on, 51 and 63. That was John Grant. And 51 is the outside linebacker that they sent in as a blitzing linebacker, Bob Swenson.
Well, nobody even touched 2 of those orange and white fellas. And very few quarterbacks in the league are nifty enough to find a space in that end zone to get rid of the ball and keep from having to take about a 7-yard loss.
Steve Rabel brought a play in from the bench. He's a wide receiver. Now they go into the regular pro set. Largent is split to the left. McCullum to the right. Going to run it. And he's in for a touchdown. That's the play he loves. The delay, the quarterback draw. He starts back. And then with the quarterback draw goes forward. He has now scored 6 touchdowns rushing this year.
I mean, this is great. A lot of quarterbacks say they like it, but not too many are as good at it as he is. That time, Denver plugged up the hole he's used to running through. He had to go off to the right side. Everything looked kind of spooky. He found a way to get 5 yards, and they've got a lead 13-3.
This fella's an opportunist, Zorn. Arraya's kick, the Zorn holding. The kick is good. And the young Seahawks are now out in front, 14-3.
It's hard to tell the difference between J.C. Plain Pockets jeans and the world's best-selling jeans. After all, they're both made of tough, heavy denim with good looks and great styling. In fact, you probably couldn't tell the difference at all unless you noticed the fancy stitching on the back of those famous jeans or the money you saved on Plain Pockets. J.C. Plain Pockets. The big difference between us and them is the pocket and the price.
Henry VIII for 79 Dodge Aspen.
So, I had some marital problems, but if I'd had this new Dodge Aspen, things might have been different.
There's regal room for all three Catherines, the two Annes, and Jane Seymour to boot.
Of course, 6 wives can be expensive, so it's good Aspen's 225/6 isn't. And you won't lose your head over Aspen's price either. Dodge Aspen, small in all the right places, but big for its size. What ho! That's my Dodge.
Next Sunday, regional coverage of exciting NFL action. Telecasts include the Patriots versus the Bills, Cleveland at Houston, and the Jets versus the Broncos. Check local listings for the game in your area.
Crush the Bronx. So far, they've not crushed them, but they've been very alert and taking advantage of Denver mistakes. Greg Morton pacing that sideline. He wants back in there. Perrin and Jackson are ready to receive Herrera's kickoff. It wobbles to the far side. Jackson fields it on the 5. Out to the 20. They're waiting for him. They spill him on the 22. And an excellent coverage by number 23, Doug Long. Number 23 hit him.
Another thing that the Seahawks seem to do, they don't let anybody out of the Northwest if they think he can play football. This kid went to Whitworth College over in Spokane, Washington. And he's come along as a free agent, made their club, been an integral part of their whole team. And it seems to be the makeup of this group up here.
All right, the Broncos trailing 14-3 with Armstrong and Keyworth as the setback. Niehaus has gone in to the Seattle line. And they send Keyworth up the middle on first down again. Most of his best running plays come on first down.
This is the kind of football game I like to watch, Kurt. You see a lot of offense. I guess if you've played offense all your life, you root for the people running the football. And I think we're going to have a very exciting day before this afternoon's over.
An 8-yard gain by Keyworth, 2nd and 2. Coming up, halftime, NFL 78. Lytle has checked into the Denver backfield. Keyworth has gained 50 yards already and just 4 carries. Quite an average in the first half. Handoff to Perrin. Perrin with a first down as he spins his way over his 35. They'll spot it at the Denver 38. They're working on Dolvin.
I wonder how many fingers he sees.
He was a man racked up, fumbled the ball after receiving a pass. The turnover on the 16-yard line paved the way for the second Seattle touchdown. The Broncos under 38 with a first down. 14-3, Seattle ahead. 11:45 remaining in the half. Otis Armstrong just tripped up there by number 53, Keith Butler, the rookie of Memphis State, the right linebacker. And Otis might have gone somewhere, John.
Well, it looked to me, you know, they're getting such good blocking from their backs, and everybody seems to be moving the football aggressively on the Denver offense, and I think that's been their problem. It's like they're neither pillar nor post. They haven't thrown the ball very well, and they haven't been running it as effectively as those people look like they should.
Seattle's 27th in the league, next to last for most yards allowed per play. Morton hit from behind. That's the first sack, and Bill Gregory got him, number 77.
Again, just a whole complement of people. The defensive linebackers have taken away all the lanes that Craig would like to throw through, giving Gregory enough time. Good surge in the front two by Sandifer and Boyd. That allows Gregory to get around behind without allowing Morton to step up too far.
The whole group. Sheer strength. He just out-muscled that blocker and got around him. Bill Gregory played his college ball at Wisconsin. 3rd down and 12. Denver under 36. Rick Upchurch is to the left. Spread wide. Here comes Moses in motion. The pitch goes to Armstrong. Slips and falls. They pounce on him at the 35. He loses a yard. And nothing is going right for Denver right now. They have a 4th and 13. Tampa Bay, Green Bay defeated Tampa Bay. That should be bad news for Seattle. Every time Tampa Bay's won or lost on the same day, Seattle's done the same thing.
Well, there's no indication of it yet.
There's a big one down at Oakland. San Diego 7, Oakland 6 in the second quarter. Stabler just passed to Casper. 12 yards for a touchdown. All right, Bucky Dilts, who's averaged 37 yards a boot. Rufus Crawford to receive the kick. He might get a return on this. Takes it over 33, 35. Upended at the 38-yard line. Seattle's ball, first down. We'll be back here in the Kingdom right after this message.
From El Paso to Cheyenne, the West was wild once, and sometimes it still is.
Beer makes it good.
Beer's just one Schlitz.
There's no debate.
Nothing else comes near. Beer makes it good. When you're out of Schlitz, Schlitz makes it great. You're out of beer.
11 million times a day, America reaches for a Schlitz. Every drop chill-lagered for quality. Since 1849,
Schlitz makes it like no other good. Schlitz makes it great. Energy for a strong America.
Excuse me, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah?
Do you know you're one of America's most valuable energy sources?
I am?
That insulation you're installing isn't only going to save you a lot of money.
Yeah?
It's going to help our country save energy.
So?
So thank you.
You're welcome.
By saving energy, you're helping hold down foreign imports, while companies like Exxon develop other energy sources like coal, nuclear fuel, and solar power. Energy for a strong America.
David Cassidy, man undercover, young enough to be a kid, tough enough to be a cop.
Give it up, Ernie. It's all over.
Premiere Thursday at 10, 9 Central on NBC.
There's the score, 14-3 Seattle. Denver scored first in a field goal. Zorn threw a pass, 44 yards to McCullum. Zorn scored on a 4-yard dash up the middle. They have a first down on their 39-yard line. He'll toss it right down the middle, dropped by Largent. You won't see him do that much in the University of Tulsa.
You know, it dropped it before. It was Tom Jackson. As Zorn went to throw the ball, he had to pull the plug because Jackson was standing right in the way. As he did so, he not only fooled Jackson, but he also fooled Largent. And it's like a knuckleball being thrown to a catcher. The ball isn't coming as fast as you expected, and it kind of gets you discombobulated.
Miami now is out in front, 16-6 of Baltimore in the second period. Bob Greasy has passed another one, 63 yards to Durio Harris. Second down, 10. Seattle from their 39. Testament goes in motion. Smith to the 41-yard line. I see a flag dropped on the far sideline. Bob Swenson made that hit for the Denver Broncos. And let's see what this penalty is about. Denver, I think John coming into this game, offside against Denver, had one more takeover than turnover.
Well, you know, I think it's the most imposing statistic in the whole Denver football team. The reason I say that is their offense has been criticized over the past year for not moving the ball. Well, they didn't move it that much last year, but their defensive team just dominated the other team's offense, and they counted on it.
Number 66 defense, second down.
And they said, okay, you guys get us a break. When you get us on the other side of the 50, we'll take it in. Well, they haven't really recovered that many breaks this year. As a result, their offense has had to move the ball on drives, which they weren't able to do last year and haven't been able to do too effectively this year. So I think it's the defense that has to get with it again.
And the Lions have won their second in a row. They beat the Bears today. The Bears continue their losing streak. Sherman Smith trying to battle for that first down. Tackled by Randy Gradishar, who averages about 14 tackles a game. Just outstanding.
Okay, what fun. We mentioned they've got an outstanding young offensive line. Nick Beeboat, pretty good at the point of attack. He and Tom Lynch get Sherman Smith started. When you do that, a good back will pick up some yardage for you.
They're on the 48-yard line of Seattle. They have a third down and a half-yard to go. And they're going to run it out of the eye. 87 may have moved. Ron Howard, the tight end. Flags dropped once more. Smith on the carry. Denver has their second string unit in there, Paul Smith.
That's a mistake, Kurt, that is almost inexcusable if you're a coach. You say, hey, wait a minute, the ball's not even coming your way. It's going away from you. You're not even in the play. All you have to do is get the count. Big plays like that can hurt you.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
You're watching Channel 5, KING TV, Seattle.
I'm sure that's the man that moved, the tight end, Howard, who, by the way, was a basketball player at the University of Seattle, never played college football, picked up by the Cowboys as a free agent. They love to pick up those ex-basketball players. I don't blame them. Those
Cornell Green, how about him?
Cornell Green. We're here in the Kingdome in Seattle with a score 14-3 in favor of the Seahawks, 9 minutes remaining in the first half. Denver scored first. Seahawks have come back with 2 consecutive touchdowns. And they're arguing this one over now.
Illegal motion. Offensive right tackle, 76. Declined. 4th down.
All right, that's on me. I'm chopping up Howard, and it's on August.
Well, I had Howard, too. It's on August, the right tackle. They declined it as Smith was stopped short of a first down. That took some heavy thinking on the Broncos. And in the punt now is Herman Weaver, who got off a beauty his last time. There's Rick Upchurch, who's averaged 13 yards of punt return in his career. Unless there's a crack up there in his dome, the wind is no factor. Here's the kick, a high one. Upchurch sees that blue wave come down. He takes it on the 6. Trying to get outside. He's at the 10. Hey, hey, hey. He's at the 20. What a run here. He's at the 30. He's getting some blocking. Down the sideline he goes. A remarkable return by Rick Upchurch. They had him dead down there inside the 10-yard line and let him get away.
Unbelievable. The staff has said the Riley Odoms and Rick Upchurch have been playing consistently outstanding football all year long, not keeping with the rest of the offensive unit, who has been sporadic. Now, how many guys can get out of this trap? Thunderfoot Weaver makes an excellent kick, actually ends up saving the touchdown by holding off the blocking that Upchurch had formed in front of him.
And Rick Upchurch may just have put the Broncos back in here with a 53-yard punt return. That was an almost impossible return. Lytle and Perrin, the running back. And across the 35 to the 33 has Canada, Larry Canada. Surging forward, met by Bill Gregory, the right end of the Seahawks. He went to the 33-yard line.
Another excellent offensive surge by the offensive line, Kurt. They have got to capitalize on what the offensive line is doing right now, or later in the game it's got to bog down.
You've all seen it so many times how the kicking game can suddenly turn the momentum around. A blocked punt, a great punt return. That's Canada. Canada dropped, but I believe he has a first down at the 30-yard line of Seattle. Sammy Green hit him hard there.
We mentioned Glenn Hyde's playing guard for the first time in quite a while. He gets out in front of Canada. It's a decision right now. Do you keep going, get on Sammy Green, number 56, or do you cut up inside? He decided to cut up inside, and Sam got the ball carrier.
If Upchurch doesn't get injured and keeps going, he'll go down as one of the best punt returners in the history of the National Football League, and you just saw the reason why.
He's got to be there already, didn't he?
Statistic. First down, Broncos on the Seattle 30. Morton wings it wide open. Moses, he hangs on to it, and a first down at the 16-yard line of Seattle. Sammy Green, a linebacker, had to cover the wide receiver and brought him down.
And Sammy Green, he was on a definite collision course. This is the thing, a guy that's been around as long as Haven Moses, he knows the contact is coming. When he caught the ball, he had to take a little shot inside to avoid real solid contact. He did so, felt it, made a very effective play out of it.
First down, Denver. Seattle 16. The Broncos need this one. Upchurch is into the wide receiver. Jack Dolvin was injured earlier. Otis Armstrong on the reverse, trying to cut back. Makes his cut and is spilled at the 12-yard line by Cornell Webster. Armstrong had the option to hit to the sideline or cut back in. He saw a little more opening inside when he made his cut. And he made more yardage than I thought he would on that play.
One of the least effective running plays that Denver has run, and it still picked up 3.5 yards.
There's Dolvin. He's not well. He's not well. He's been shaken up and not back in there. Azedo, we received report, has a groin pull but may return. 2nd down, 6 for the Broncos. 12-yard line of Seattle. Larry Canada stopped at the 10.
When you get down near that goal line, the people start moving down the line, piling things up. Ernie Price, recent acquisition from Detroit, helping the defensive line a lot here, forces it into the middle where the pile is.
3rd down for Denver. 6 minutes to remaining in the first half. And Morton doesn't want 3. He wants to come out of here with 7.
Well, 3 doesn't get him
ahead, 14-3.
3 doesn't put him in very good stead.
McShane, Cronin, 2 extra linebackers. Simpson, a rookie secondary backer in there. 3rd and 4 from the 10-yard line of Seattle. Armstrong hit hard by Peter Cronin, the Boston College second-year linebacker, and he had marvelous penetration and was right on him.
You bet. He could never have made the play had the other linebacker on the other side not forced the issue real swiftly. Let's take a look. You can see 59 coming into the play. He allowed Cronin to dart behind the action and pull down Armstrong.
Well, the Broncos want to come out of here with something, and they're going to have a field goal attempt. Morton is holding the 21 to 31-yard attempt by Jim Turner. He's back to the high-top shoes. You'll notice, fake. Morton will throw. It's to Turner. They've got him. That's the play that scored a touchdown against Oakland last year in Oakland, but Seattle was waiting for this one.
Well, listen, they're picking on a guy that's pretty bright. Autry Beeman was waiting for Jim Turner. When he did so, you can see the ruckus taking place because they thought Beeman was a little bit over-enthusiastic when he stopped Turner. However, what it was just real heads-up defense on the Seattle side, and we haven't seen Denver as effective doing the tricky little things that they were very opportunistic doing last year. Here's Turner coming out in his high tops. He's no match for any defensive back when he sees the play. Beeman wasn't fooled, and they've got the ball.
And he waltzed in against Oakland. We'll be back right after this.
From the folks who are #1 in vans and wagons come the 1979s, like Dodge Maxi Wagon, the roomiest wagon you can buy. Like Sportsman Wagon, the wagon you can turn into a home away from home. Like Street Van, the van that's as fun as it is tough. Like some of the most maneuverable, versatile, best-selling vans in America. Is it any wonder when you ask about vans, you hear about Dodge?
Dodge is into trucking, like America's into Jeep. Hey, that's my side.
This fresh egg is going to help us sell this brand new Free Flex shoe from Freeman. Watch. You can do it with any new Freeman Free Flex. See Freeman shoes at fine stores everywhere.
The game-breaking plays, the hottest new craze, all pros in action, the latest in fashion, straight-talking views and late-breaking news. The pregame show that has it all, NFL 78.
Be sure and stay tuned at halftime for Brian Gumbo and NFL 78. Man with a sweater rolled up there's Babe Perilli. Quarterback. No, that's not
Perilli. Babe there.
No, that's not him. Thanks a lot. First down on the 19. Doran on the play action, lobs it out. It's incomplete. And there go flags down. The receiver was knocked to the ground. That was Testament.
The wrong team is making the uncalled for play. We talked early in the ball game and said very simply that it's going to be a big game for Seattle, but how are they going to react when this is a big game concerning their standings? Well, they've reacted with real cool. They've done the things effectively that they've tried to do. They've played good defense. They've been opportunistic. The frustrated group right now looks like the other side.
The defending American Conference champs, the Denver Broncos. And they'll walk off 15 yards on this one for a personal foul.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 29 defense, first down.
Bernard Jackson hit him. You can see Tessler's not even into play. Look at that hit. First down, Seattle on the 34-yard line of the Seahawks. Time 4:18 in the first half. There's Jackson. Seattle ahead 14-3. Going again to throw. He can scramble.
This is not a planned one.
Jackson chases him. And it may be intercepted. Jammed up against the sideline with Gradishar. Is he in bounds with it?
He was in bounds. He made a great play on it, Kurt. Oftentimes, Seattle has little sprint-out plays, little scrambling plays where they set up their offensive line to allow Zorn more time. They cut somebody, allow him to get outside, let his receivers work on the defensive backs. However, that was just real good defensive surge by Denver. Gradishar, as we know, is one of the most opportunistic, intelligent, effective linebackers in the game. He took advantage of a Zorn throwaway and caught it just in bounds, keeping his feet just where it had to be. Look at that. Now that's action.
First down, Denver on the Seattle 34. Ramming that middle. Lonnie Perrin at the 30-yard line, maybe across the 30. Second down, 6. Lytle leaves. Armstrong checks in. Denver trailing. Again threatening. They're on the Seattle 30. Another chance to score. They blew the last one. Play action pass. Orton's got a man open, and he hits him for a first down. Directed away. Rick Upchurch for the touchdown. Upchurch scores. They had him wrapped up, and he got away.
Kurt, it just looks to me like a guy like Upchurch is just so good, and he comes up with so many big plays that it's almost a necessity to play him full time. Here you see Beeson getting into the line. However, Morton has already rolled to the right, creating an angle for himself. Takes Beeson's angle away. They push Upchurch in the end zone, and this ball game is back in the hat. 3
Seahawks. Watch this now. 3 of them are going to be there. Upchurch now is hit by one, hit by another. The third one piles into his own man, and he salutes himself as he goes in the end zone.
The key is how a sprint out can effectively help a quarterback's angle throw into his receiver. He just took the middle linebacker's angle away.
Turner hits the extra point, and now the score is Seattle 14 and Denver 10.
We're saving $600.
We're saving.
This family has rented a Ryder truck.
We're saving.
And moved 500 miles.
We're saving 600.
By packing and moving themselves, they saved a lot of money over what professional movers wanted. True, when you rent a Ryder truck, you have to do the work yourself.
We're saving 600.
But if you just keep repeating how much money you're saving, you'll be amazed how much lighter those cartons will seem.
We're saving $600.
Stanley presents the Cube, a simple solution to a lot of storage problems. It's a Stanley do-it-yourself project that's easy to do when you use Stanley tools to help you do it right, like the Stanley Surfform for smoothing edges. In no time, you'll be building bedroom cubes, kitchen cubes, bathroom cubes, a cube system for your stereo system, sleeping cubes, sewing cubes, working cubes, playing cubes. The Cube, a do-it and do-it and do-it-yourself project from Stanley, the do-it-yourself company.
Stanley, we want to help you do things right.
Howard Mudd, he's the man that was voted by the football writers as one of the 2 outstanding offensive guards to play in the 1960s when football had its greatest surge, in my opinion. He's now coaching the offensive line for the Seahawks. Those phones are on his head to Jerry Rome, who's the coordinator. Now the Seahawks offense gets the ball, and they're very instrumental in a lot of the structure of the Seahawks offense.
First down, 26-yard line of Seattle. Al Hunter returned that kickoff. Each team has had one turnover, and each team has taken advantage of the turnover and scored. Denver fumbled on the 16 of Seattle. They took it in. The intercepted pass by Granddaddy on the 34 Seattle, and in 2 plays, Denver scores. Zorn has 1 set back. That's Sherman Smith. And he's out of there for 6 or 7 yards to the 32-yard line.
John Yarno again did a fine job going up that middle. He's only playing against probably the best middleman in the game in Reuben Carter.
Second down, 4. Testerman has checked into the lineup. Art Kuhn has come in, replacing Lynch. Kuhn from UCLA. They're making some changes. And Nick Bebout has gone out. Second down, 4. Smith over the 35, close to the first down at his 36.5.
We mentioned John Yarno, the center. The centers get very little attention, but they're the ones that are often most responsible for a back to become outstanding. You see Sherman Smith hit the left side of the line. It stopped up, but Yarno's got the flow covered out to the left side so Sherman can cut back. They pick up a first down. That's what you call an outstanding young center.
Seattle's on their 37. We're approaching the 2-minute warning. They're the final. New Orleans wins their second in a row. They beat the Giants 28-17. First down. Zorn to throw. It is. He got it. He caught it right, pinched against the sideline. That is Sam McCullum, who's caught a touchdown pass earlier, and he caught that ball in his own 44. 2-minute warning flashed here in the Kingdome in Seattle. We'll be back with a score. Seattle 14, Denver 10.
Welcome to our people-pleasing places. Meet our people-pleasing faces.
Holiday Inn hotels are #1 in the world with people-pleasing standards.
Everything's perfect.
And the most popular locations at resorts throughout the world, right where you can do the things you want to do.
Wherever you go in this whole big traveling world.
We want to make you comfortable.
Holiday Inn is #1 people pleasing.
It's a big, shiny machine. Dodge makes it. One of 28 pickup truck models for 1979, including roomy club cabs. Even roomier crew cabs. And 4-wheel drive power wagons that have an urge to play. Dodge makes pickups that help build houses and carry houses. And sometimes Dodge makes the day.
Dodge is into trucking, like America's into jeans. That's my dad.
And that's my Dodge.
Next Sunday, regional coverage of exciting NFL action. Telecasts include the Patriots versus the Bills, Cleveland at Houston, and the Jets versus the Broncos. Check local listings for the game in your area.
Trailing 7-6, Arthur Whittington ran 26 for a touchdown. His 6th of the year. Oakland took the lead 13-7. Van Egan had just run over 12 yards, and now it's 20-7. Oakland leading San Diego. 7 minutes to play in the first half. Miami 19, Baltimore 6. And they have 5 minutes to go in the first half in the Orange Bowl. Second down. 3 to go. 44-yard line of Seattle. Testerman, a first down. He's to the 48-yard line. Brought down by the nose guard, Reuben Carter.
First down after a gain of 4.
There's John Yarno having a little fun. Boy, when the offensive line is playing a game like they're playing against a guy like Reuben Carter, he doesn't allow Carter to make any penetration. This allows Sherman Smith to pick up the first.
On a first down, Zorn will toss it. Now he runs, he throws on the run, he completes it to Testerman. Testerman may have a first down. Randy Granddaddy made the hit.
I thought he might pick up the extra 4 on his knees. He went down on one knee, got up, picked up a first.
They have a flag down. That's against Denver. We've checked these penalties so far in this game. And this is 15 yards, another personal foul. Denver's had 7 penalties for 73 yards. Seattle 1 penalty for 11 yards.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 59 defense. Penalty is tacked on to the completed pass. First down.
Let's watch. This is what impresses me. A lot of people have said Zorn is the best young quarterback in the league. However, he's playing the best of any quarterback in the league. You can file the young part. And I've watched some of the qualities that I think a quarterback needs to possess to be the best, and he's got them all.
That was Rizzo who committed the unnecessary roughness. First down, Seattle on the Denver 26. And there's a flag down as he's sacked. That's the first time that Denver's got to him in the game. Denver, if you'll notice and keep watching, is not rushing wildly in there. You can't do that against Zorn. He'll scramble away. He'll duck under you. He'll get outside and kill you. So you have to go in there with a controlled pass rush. Go in there under complete control.
That's pretty hard to get to the passer when you're trying to be under control. Okay, Zorn goes back. You can see they put 2 men on Barney Chavis. He breaks the blocks anyway. That time Yarno got beat by Chavis. They played a little game. Everybody wants a piece of the quarterback when they get him down.
And this penalty is being marked off against Seattle. Probably be a holding.
Holding. Number 63, offense. Repeat, first down.
Nick Bebout, I hate to say it, from the University of Wyoming, held.
Okay, they're trying everything they can do to get to the passer. They don't want to send too many men in there. It leaves too many holes. However, they were in a blitz. Just a simple little 4-man rush. But with Denver, that's a blitz. Rizzo finally finds Zorn.
It's on the 36-yard line of Denver with 1 minute and 11 seconds to go in the first half. First down and 20. Timeout called by Seattle. They have 2 left. Bebout's interesting. He's president of the Uranium Company. He's a professional guitar player. Number 63, the left tackle. He does about everything. Zorn today, 4 out of 9. Seattle is the #1 passing team in the National Football League with an average of 217 yards a game. And oddly enough, this spectacular passing team was leading the entire NFL in rushing touchdowns entering this week's game. They've already scored a rushing touchdown today by the quarterback Zorn. Their 17th rushing touchdown.
And a lot of them look like they're designed as pass plays, but they've run 4 or 5 as draw plays. A guy like Zorn's going to always score a lot of touchdowns, and I think the mark of a good quarterback is the guy that can get his team to score touchdowns. How they get him in there is irrelevant.
One of those human stories, John. Zorn used to be the ball boy at the Denver training camp when they used to have their summer training. He was from Cal Poly. Nobody drafted him. Just one of those amazing stories. The Cowboys liked him. He was their last cut. Then he went to the Rams. They didn't hang on to him. Seattle luckily picked him up. Probably been good for the National Football League. It's worked out this way.
They all liked him, but not well enough.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Number 88, Brian Peets, a rookie of Pacific. They go ahead and complete the play. Peets charged offside about 5 yards. This is the 3rd year for Jim Zorn, who's been a remarkable story. We asked him what his feelings were about playing football, the quarterback.
I don't have anything really profound and prophetic to say. I think that this has been the first year that I've really learned above and beyond what I thought I could learn in a football season. And I've had so much fun this year playing football. I hope to play in, about 10 more years. So this is really the first year that I've been so excited because I've learned a lot and understood professional football, or football in general.
And we had offsetting penalties there. It's still first down. 20 yards to go with 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining in the first half. 14-10 in favor of the Seattle Seahawks. They're trying to grab another score. Zorn is going deep to Largent, and it's over the end zone. Steve Largent, who led the nation in touchdowns in 74 and 75 at the University of Tulsa.
It's really funny when a team gets like a Denver, and they have so many defensive players with great reputations. Here we go, watching Largent go down the center. All right, they have picked on what I consider to be the strength of the Denver defense. Nobody beats them deep. Also, nobody beats Louis Wright. They've tried Louis Wright 3 or 4 times today. They've already tried Bill Thompson and Bernie Jackson. They've stayed off the other corner. Maybe sometimes a little testing doesn't hurt anybody.
Nerney has come in. Number 58 is an extra linebacker. Second down, 20 yards to go. Seattle on the Denver 36. .58 seconds remaining in this half. Time, he has it. Incomplete pass. Sherman Smith had it, popped out, trying to dive, grab for it, couldn't get it.
It must have been a correct call because 3 officials were in perfect position to call the play. All waved nothing at the same time.
Now we're down to 52 seconds in the half. 3rd and 20. There's the score.
They need to get about let's say about 11 yards to be in a position to kick a field goal. I'd say that Herrera's range is about 46, and they need about 11 to get him in that position.
Sam McCullum, number 84, brought into play from the Seattle bench. 3rd down, 20. Good Denver blitzes. No, they're laying back, covering deep. The pass out, incomplete. Largent trying to go up. Difficult catch, had a chance, couldn't hold on to it.
They tried to pick it up. Zorn went back, had enough time to survey the whole field. As you can really see it pretty well. Here, Ted Nathanson and George Finkel, the director and producer, give you a shot that allows you to see just exactly what it looks like, not to a quarterback, but from up here. When you have that little dial, you say, who's open? Well, the only man that was even close to being open was Largent, and Zorn picked him out.
They're going to try a field goal of 52 yards. Herrera's longest this year has been 45.
I think they're going to punt the ball.
He did. And he didn't get a very good punt off. Sliced it. He shanked it off to the right. Denver will have the ball now. That's his pooch punt.
Very little
job.
pooch.
Tries to pooch it inside the 15, 10, 5-yard line down there, kick it out of bounds.
I guess the 2 times prior to this, Kurt, that he did pooch it. He pooched it inside the 5-yard line. That's a pretty good reason to let him have another go at it.
42 seconds remain for the Broncos to try and score now in the first half. They had the ball on their own 23-yard line. Remember, NFL 78 at halftime. Rob Lytle, Lonnie Perrin, the running back. Morton with time. Crossing pattern. Oh, was he racked up, but he held on to it. Morton immediately calls time. Haven Moses making the grab.
These are the sort of things that Denver, prior to, not today, but prior to this season, last year they didn't try this late in the half. They take their lead, know they could do something. They know they're in a dogfight. They've got to create something. Morton goes back on first down, throws the ball as well as it can be delivered to Haven Moses, and I'd like to have him every day catching for me in the crowd.
He is steady. He is dependable. That gives Denver a first down. They called the time. They have 2 timeouts left in the half. Seattle has 2 timeouts left in the half. We were talking, John, the pattern last year, Denver with a outstanding defensive team, 4 very quick linebackers forcing mistakes, and they had those other teams giving up the ball in the other team's territory. Then the offense would come in, and Morton, enjoying the big year, would capitalize on the mistake. This year, though, they're still checking Dalbin, who was hit hard after receiving a pass and fumbling, and they suspicion a head injury, I'm sure. But the Broncos have not been getting the ball inside the other team's 50-yard line as much this year. The reason, the opponents are being much more careful with it. They're not throwing the ball as much against Denver inside their own 50. Dave Preston's in there as a running back. He can catch the ball, remember. Moses in motion, first down. Morton spreads them out. He's got time. Scrambles away, throws under pressure. Oh! 2 men going for it, along with number 33, Perrin. Charlie McShane was up there, number 59 of the Seahawks. Morton is not nimble. He is not mobile. He can't get out of the pass rush very well.
Well, Alden Roche, he was pretty nimble about 10 years ago, Kurt, but as you play this game a while, you're not quite as nimble as you once were. You know, he's a big guy, stands in the pocket, takes a good lick. But after you've taken a lick for 12, 13, 14 years, you see Alden Roche gets to him. However, he's still strong enough to keep from taking the loss, throws it up like a jump center, and they do get another opportunity.
Well, you should know what you play, 17 years?
Yeah, I don't think I outran too many people either.
You accumulate hurts, right?
Yeah, they go away.
Second down. There's that pattern new. That time Moses could not hang on to it. Same pattern. Going down, curling in, and Webster was up on his back, but legally fighting for the ball along with the receiver.
Cornell Webster has made several very aggressive plays. He seems to have good timing. Has been there just about the same time the ball has arrived. The last time Moses came down with it, this time he just got there a split second earlier and gave him no chance.
Third down, 10. Craig Penrose is the backup quarterback today. He's had a bruised shoulder, but he could play. Norris Weiss is injured. We won't see him. Morton 6 out of 12. Zorn 4 out of 12. That is a first down for the tight end Riley Odoms. That moves him farther downfield, and Denver's coming in and stopping the clock. They have one timeout left. 15 seconds remain in the first half.
And they do need about 18 yards. If they can get 18 yards, they can get Jim Turner in a spot where he can kick a 42-yard field goal. Of course, his range goes farther than that. It might go up to 47 or so, in Denver even to 50. However, they got to pick up a nice long gainer. One completion out of the next two throws would give them enough time to set up a chance for a field goal.
Seattle played a spectacular defensive game last week against Oakland. They're a team that's averaged the best average gain per play in the NFL this year, 5.5 yards a play, but they've given up 5.5 yards every time the opponents have had a down. But last week they stopped Oakland with the longest run from scrimmage of 7 yards.
And the way you stop people defensively is to create their problems for them. And they've added to their defensive line. I mentioned it before, and Ernie Price is playing very aggressive, outstanding football. He's making things happen. It gives a defensive back a chance to do the things he sees but can't really do. Autry Beeman said before, he said, our defensive line is the key to our better performance on defense.
First down, Denver. Seattle's 43. 15 seconds remain in the half. A draw play. Keyworth inside the 35 and goes maybe for a first down to the 33 or 32-yard line. The Broncos come in and have taken their last time out. There are 7 seconds now remaining in the first half.
They're right in the marginal range. I don't know if they would like to try a field goal from there or not. It would be about 48 yards. I think Jim Turner can kick it that far. However, I don't like the odds. 4 or 5 yards closer gives him about a 60% better chance.
Keyworth has had quite an average today, John. He's carried the ball 5 times, 61 yards, 12 yards a carry.
Credit the makeshift offensive line for Denver. You know, maybe I get into a habit of crediting offensive linemen too much, but if you've ever played behind one, you know how well you need it.
Now Morton's coming back. There are 7 seconds to go in the half. If they would complete a pass, I don't think they'd have time to get the field goal kicker on the field.
They will if they complete it out of bounds. They won't.
That's the only way they can do it.
If they hit it in the center of the field, 7 seconds is a very short period of time, but not if you're going out of bounds.
14-10, Seattle ahead. This might be just a quick out pattern, 5-10 yards down the field.
And it might be all the way down the field. However, Seattle's preventing that.
No, they're going for the Upchurch. Upchurch was hit. If he had, well, maybe they just threw to him hoping he'd get one-on-one with that great open field ability his shake loose for the...
I think they threw to him figuring he was going to get just what he got as he caught the ball. And then they could stop the clock. But if he'd have caught it clean, had a bit of room to run, they wouldn't have had time for a field goal.
Jim Turner is on the field. He'll try the field goal unless they fake it again. Upchurch is up. They need him badly because Jack Dolman is injured.
They need him badly anyway.
He's beaten the rap now of a bad pair of hands. You know, he used to say he couldn't hold on to the ball, but he's made some fine catches the last year or two, and he's beaten that rap.
Yeah, well, those raps come frequently and from everywhere, but a lot of them don't have a lot of substance to them.
A 50-yard attempt by Jim Turner, second leading field goal kicker of all time. in this conference. The kick is up. It is going to be short, way short, and to the right. And time has run out. That's the end of the first half. The score, Seattle 14 and Denver 10. And now, this message.
From the Sierras to the Smokies, people are discovering what makes the great outdoors great.
Beer makes it good.
It's just one Schlitz.
There's no debate.
Nothing else comes near.
Beer makes it good.
When you're out of Schlitz.
Schlitz makes it great.
You're out of beer.
Nobody makes it like Schlitz. Every drop chill lagered for quality. 11 million times a day, America reaches for a Schlitz. Because since 1849, Schlitz makes it great.
So when it comes to beer, why make it good? Schlitz makes it like no other good. Schlitz makes it great.
This is my team, the Denver Broncos. Hi, I'm Haven Moses. Come with me and discover a special part of Denver. It's called Red Rocks. This magnificent theater was carved out of the earth millions of years ago. You know, I come up here a lot, look at the sky and the mountains, and feel pretty good about living in Colorado. Unfortunately, there are people who cannot see this. They're blind. But the people in Denver help them reach out and touch these mountains through the Red Cross Braille Center. Here, people learn to see with their hands. Blind children enjoy their own special coloring books. Adults read maps and plan trips. These people are an inspiration. They may never see the mountains, but they've got the confidence to conquer them. The Red Cross Braille Center is supported by Our United Way. The United Way works in Denver. It works in your town, too. Thanks to you, it works for all of us. United Way.
Preceding announcement furnished to the public service by the National Football League. The Seattle Seahawks, third year in their history, leading the Denver Broncos. They beat Oakland last week. Quite a story going on in there at halftime. And there's another story on this field. Jim Zorn and his team have led the NFL in passing this year, averaging 217 yards a game, and Denver probably shut their passing down, the best of any team so far this year.
That may be, but I'd say when an expansion team is playing against the best defense in football and they hold you to 75 yards passing, you've arrived, man, as a quarterback.
All right, we're going to join NFL 78 right after these messages from your local station.
The story of America continues on Centennial.
You come to fight, huh? No, to establish a fort. Dear God, thank you for this life.
Then on Lifeline, Dr. Dan Smith will deliver 7 babies.
I'm Dr. Smith. Your wife's going to have her baby now. Today is its birthday.
Centennial, then Lifeline, tonight on NBC.
The curtain's going up, come see what's new. Detroit and all the world have come to show their cars to you.
The International Auto Show is back at the Kingdom Wednesday through Sunday. See every new 1979 foreign and domestic model. And don't miss the very special Northwest appearance of Harrah's Auto Collection. It's all happening at the Kingdom.
At the International Auto Show.
The automobile, it's gone through some heavy changes, and the heavier it got, the thirstier it got. But now we have to lighten up, and that's where aluminum comes in. It makes your car trimmer so it uses less energy. With 100 pounds of aluminum, the average car saves enough gas to go about 5,000 extra miles. Aluminum, it's a lightweight solution to some heavy problems.
Kaiser Aluminum.
There's a company that helped blaze the trail for automobile insurance, Kemper. Even back in 1913, Kemper offered protection a driver could count on. Since then, we've added 2-car discounts, special safe driver rates, and one of the most convenient budget payment plans around. Today, Kemper still rides with its policyholders, the Kemper Insurance Companies. We're riding hard to serve you better.
You're watching KING TV, Seattle.
It's been this kind of year for the Baltimore Colts. The Miami Dolphins lining it up for a field goal.
Don Strock pulls it away from the foot of Gero Yepremian. He rolls right and over the heads of the blue defenders. He throws to Vern Den Herter for a touchdown. Even a defensive end scores on the Colts this year. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our NFL 78 studios. I'm Brian Gumble. Mike Adamley is in our highlight center. We're starting the second half of the season. It's week 9. We'll try to get you caught up. There was a slaughter in New England today at Foxborough. The Patriots just beat up all over the Jets. 55-21, 526 yards of total offense. Mike Adamley has a very, very long highlight package for us. They didn't do anything wrong today, the Patriots.
Well, they sure didn't. If you are a New York Jet fan, I suggest you leave the room right now because what you're about to see isn't very pretty. 8 touchdowns and 55 points. This was number 1. Steve Grogan firing to Harold Jackson. This made it 7-0. Grogan once again to Stanley Morgan, 14-0. Horace Ivory scores touchdown number 3, makes it 21-zip. The Jets came back and scored one of their own, 21-7. Here's touchdown number 4, Horace Ivory again, 28-7. Touchdown number 5, Grogan to Harold Jackson, 34-7. Touchdown number 6, Russ Francis, 41-7. Touchdown number 7, James McAllister. And touchdown number 8, James McAllister again. Final score, 55-21. And Walt Michaels got to go back to the drawing board.
Very monotonous report there, Mike. Washington Redskins had lost 2 in a row coming into today, so they started Billy Kilmer, beat San Francisco 38-20. Kilmer was 12 for 23, 185 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Kansas City against Pittsburgh. The Steelers were hoping for a romp. Instead, they were hanging on for dear life at the end. Won at 27-24. Mike, I guess when you have the kind of class that the Steelers do and the number of good athletes they do, even when you have an off day, you've got enough to get by.
Yeah, Kansas City played very well. They ran the wing T to perfection. It just wasn't enough. At this point in the game, the Kansas City Chiefs are trailing 20-3, and then they get the wing T in gear. Number 22, Ted McKnight, long strides it into the end zone to make it 20-10. Then Tony Reed does his touchdown thing. Watch the block of Bob Simmons, 73 here. Screens out Larry Anderson, 30. Mike Wagner gets tangled up, and so does Jack Lambert. Tony Reed reads the block extremely well, cuts back to his right. There goes Steve Furness out of bounds, and he scores to make it 20-17. Chiefs in the ball game until right here. 35, Horace Belton. The ball is stripped. Picked up by 31, Donnie Shell. He goes into the end zone to make it 27-24. First touchdown in Donnie Shell careers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers stay on top of the AFC Central 8-1. The story in Cleveland, well, Brian Sipe had been maligned as of late because of his passing, but this week he did very well. 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Reggie Rucker. Here is number 2 right here. Number 35 is going to catch this touchdown pass, and watch this reception. One-handed, Calvin Hill, 2 touchdowns of the day. 14-0, and then Mike Pruitt, a number 1 draft choice from Purdue, in 1976, goes 71 yards. Nobody's going to touch him. Big day for Cleveland Brown fans, and Sam Rutigliano, they're back in the thick of the AFC Central race.
Okay, Mike, you know it's strange to talk about Bud Wilkinson as accomplishing a first of anything this late in his career. It's been such a fabulous career, but he actually did accomplish a first today. NFL victory number 1 for Bud Wilkinson as coach of the St. Louis Cardinals. Today they beat the Philadelphia Eagles 16-10. The Cardinals are now 1-8, and the Eagles sink 1 game below the 500 level after 9 outings. Houston against Cincinnati. It's also victory number 1 for the victory-starved Bengals. They go 1-8, beating up on Houston 28-13. Earl Campbell, 19 carries for 103 yards. Another fabulous outing by a fabulous rookie, but it was the Bengals today who actually got a couple of touchdowns on the ground. Mike, what happened? Just finally putting it together?
Well, first of all, congratulations to Homer Rice. Really, the story, Bryant, was the story of Kenny Anderson and Isaac Curtis and Billy Brooks. They came back and played like they did last year. Curtis had 130 yards in receptions alone. Anderson, in the 3rd quarter, is going to hand the ball off to a rookie, Dave Turner from San Diego State, who's replacing Archie Griffin. Watch him go 65 yards before 19. There he is. Willie Alexander pulls him down and set up a 1-yard touchdown run by Pete Johnson. Here comes the last Bengal touchdown of the day. Kenny Anderson, I said he had a great day. Look at those stats. And he hits Mr. Isaac Curtis, and Mr. Curtis just turns on the jet, runs away from everybody. The first win for the Cincinnati Bengals. It's too bad they didn't start out that way in week number 1.
Okay, Mike. The Giants went down to the Superdome looking for a win, but it's tough for any team besides the Saints to win down there. The Saints put up 21 points in the second half, came on to beat the Giants 28-17. Archie Manning 13 for 21, 166 yards, 2 touchdown strikes. both to Henry Childs. Detroit against Chicago. The Bears have now lost 6 straight as the Lions win their second in a row. The final was 21-17. Walter Payton, 89 yards, 18 carries. But again, it was Gary Danielson having a big day for the Lions. 20 for 32, 190 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Tampa Bay against Green Bay. The Packers pull this one out in the final moments, 9-7 at home. They go 7-2. Chester Markle, a 48-yard field goal with 41 seconds left, provided the difference. San Diego against Oakland. Remember the fumble game that Oakland won in the final moments? Well, the Raiders are making sure this time. They're out in front 20-7 at the half. Mike, how are they doing it? Has Stabler gotten over that his propensity to throw interceptions that he showed last week?
Yeah, he's playing well, and a fake field goal helped too. Both teams coming off embarrassing losses last week, and it was the Chargers that got on the board first in this contest in Oakland, Alameda County Stadium. Watch number 37, Hank Bauer, take this handoff from Dan Fouts. He barges through the middle of the line. Look at that block by Russ Washington, number 70, and he's going to drag Mr. Jack Tatum into the end zone. You don't do that very often. 7-0 in favor of the Chargers. Later on in the first quarter, 4th and 6, here's that fake field goal attempt I was telling you about. Mr. David Humm, the holder, fires to Dave Casper, keeping the drive alive, and it set up this play. 3rd and 11. Kenny Stabler back to pass. He finds Mr. Casper over the middle. He does the rest of the work. Man missed the extra point to make it 7-6. And Arthur Winnington rambles right here. 26 yards, good open field running. He's been a real find for Al Davis and Johnny Madden. In Miami, the Dolphins had to win today to keep pace with the New England Patriots, and they're doing just that. They're playing very well. Beaucamper has a block kick for a safety.
Okay, Mike, that Miami game now stands at 26-6 in the third quarter. Mike Kirkland had to start that game for the Colts. Burt Jones, of course, still suffering with that busted shoulder. And the big one going on right now, it is a surprise. Last week, the Seahawks beat the Raiders. This week, they are beating the Denver Broncos. It stands 14-10 at the half. Zorn to Sam McCullum, 44 yards. Morton to Rick Upchurch of 29 yards. And the Seahawks trying now for a share of first in the AFC West. This 1978 National Football League game is brought to you by Schlitz. Beer makes it good, Schlitz makes it great. And by Dodge and your Dodge dealer, who invites you to come in and see why people are saying, hey, that's my Dodge. Bryant Gumbel back one more time in New York. Quickly, let's run down the scores of week number 9 as we start the second half. New England beat up all over the Jets today. The final there, 55-21, 8 TDs for the Pats. Washington 38-20 over San Francisco as Billy Kilmer got a start. Pittsburgh just got by the Kansas City Chiefs. The final there, 27-24. Cleveland, a big outing for Brian Sipe and company, 41-20 after 2 straight losses for them. St. Louis finally gets a win on the board, 16-10 over the Eagles. That one an upset. Another first-time victory goes to Homer Rice and the Bengals. They won 28-13 today over Houston despite Earl Campbell's 100-yard-plus rushing day. New Orleans beats the Giants. The final there, 28-7 as the Saints put 21 on the board in the second half. Detroit beat Chicago 21-17, 6 straight losses for the Bears. Green Bay beat Tampa Bay 9-7. Mark Hole a field goal with 41 seconds left. Oakland out in front of San Diego, that one 20-7. That ball game at the half. Miami 26-6 over Baltimore in the third period. And Seattle out in front 14-10 over Denver Broncos, that one at the half. We've got a second half of action coming up. We'll get to it after a commercial break.
The Saint is marching in. Dodge introduces the St. Regis, the full-size car of the future. Trim outside, roomy inside, luxuriously appointed, but with the efficiency of the automotive electronic age. The new St. Regis by Dodge.
That's my Dodge.
Owens Corning built this glass house so you can see all the places insulation can save money. New home or old. Your attic. In severe climates, you may need insulating power up to R38, a foot of pink Owens Corning fiberglass. Another place to insulate. Floors over unheated garages or crawl spaces, and walls exposed to cold or heat. Want to know about insulation? Ask the experts. Ask Owens Corning.
You should have used Mobile One, dummy. The oil, it saves you gas.
You could have gone up to 10 extra miles, darling.
On every tank full of gas, my son.
Mobile One reduces friction so well it can take the average car up to 10 extra miles per tank full.
Hey, man, what's holding everything up? Some dummy ran out of gas. Didn't use Mobile One.
The oil that saves you gas also saves you oil changes.
14-10 at halftime. Seattle in the lead. Denver was a 3-point favorite in this game. And the halftime statistics, Denver leads in just about everything here in the Kingdome except the score. First downs, as you can see. Look at the yards running, 155 to 48. Yards passing. Seattle below their seasonal average of 217 yards a game at the halfway pace. Total yards, 253 for Denver, 121 for Seattle.
Kurt, I think the key figure right there is you see how many yards the Broncos have gained, almost 250. That's a 500-yard pace for a whole football game. They've only got 6 points on the board, but I think that's the indicative figure behind why Seattle has only gained 121. They haven't had the ball that much, but they've moved it pretty well when they've had it. I think the game's pretty even. I think the difference is very simply Denver has not capitalized, and Seattle has.
And look at the time of possession. Denver, a little over 19 minutes, and the Seahawks just under 11 minutes. Morton warming up, leading rusher, Keyworth, 61 yards, a 12-yard average. Smith, 30 yards for Seattle. Zorn is 4 out of 13, and this season he has hit 61%, so he's way below his seasonal average. Odoms, Moses have each got 2 passes. McCullum has got 2. Ready for the kickoff now. Al Hunter, Rufus Crawford are deep for the Seahawks. Lonnie Perrin will boot it. And we're underway for the second half with Kurt Gowdy and John Brody. Al Hunter on the 7. Out to the 15. 20. Finds the crack. Races over the 30. And is hauled down on his 34-yard line. He's taken there by Larry Canada, who went down to cover. Number 35. They will have the same offense for Seattle. Jim Zorn at quarterback. Jerm Smith. Largent 80. The tight end is Ron Howard, 87. Zorn up. They've had a controlled pass rush. They actually shadowed him one-on-one with either outside linebacker. There it is, and it's deflected. When he rolls left, Jackson stays with him. When he goes to the right, Swenson will float out with him, and he is sort of like a basketball guard covering.
Well, what they've done is they have tried to contain Zorn. They've done it very effectively. A couple times Jim has been forced out of the pocket, but those were not by design. When he wants to get out, they've hemmed him in. They've forced him to throw the ball swifter than he'd like. They've been in his path on several occasions on patterns over the middle. And they pretty well shut down his throwing game, but his offensive line is giving him another dimension. They're allowing his backs to run for good yardage, so his offense has not been stopped.
He's 4 out of 14 now. 3 wide receivers on the field. The handoff, Smith comes through, first down, 45, Smith to the 50. That's that deep handoff they like.
Well, what we're talking about is in order to contain a Zorn, you have to give something up. Usually you'll see linebackers, both Rizzo on one side, Jackson on the other. These guys will be in the holes that Sherman Smith is running through. Now, usually a linebacker is in a position where he hasn't got any guard or tackle in his face and can make a clean hit. This time, however, the linebackers had people in their face, and Sherman picks up a first down.
And they took Smith out 47. He just picked up 16 yards in that carry. Al Hunter replaces him, number 24. First down, Seattle on the 50. Hunter tackled, brought down on the 48 of Denver. He was hit there by number 59, Joe Rizzo. 5th-year player out of the Merchant Marine Academy. Second down, 8, Seattle. On the Denver Bronco 48. Bebop left tackle, Lynch left guard, Yarno center, Newton right guard, Steve August right tackle. That's the Denver offensive lineup. The front 3. Chavis, Carter, Alzado for Denver. Swenson, Rizzo, Granashar, Jackson. The big 4, the linebackers. Draw play. Don Testerman, number 42. Brought down short of the Denver 45 by Randy Granashar. He had some help from number 77, Lyle Alzado.
That's actually farther than I thought a draw play would go. You mentioned earlier that in order to trap a Zorn, that the on-rushing linemen have to kind of come in there and hold their position while the linebackers contained from the outside. Well, if they're playing that way defensively, a draw play is not going to be effective, and we saw it go for 2 yards.
Largent, the second leading pass receiver of the American Conference, number 80, has caught only 1 today. They're setting a screen up to Sherm Smith. Smith has a first down. I like him. He's a fine runner. He knows where he is all the time.
And what's even more important is Seattle not only likes him, but sees the value that he can contribute to their squad. Now you're going to watch Tom Lynn coordinated. As Smith gets the ball on the inside, here's John Yarno. He picks off Gradishar, just stops him long enough so he can't get behind the line and break up the screen. On the other side, Bebo took the cornerback out, and it was a very effective screen.
And, John, it's a first down. The Seahawks on the move, and the Denver 38, they're ahead 14-10 early in the third period. There's the deep pass. It is incomplete to Largent. Largent had turned the wrong way. The pass sailed out of bounds. He was being covered by the strong safety, Bill Thompson.
And what they did is a little double zone where they had Louis Wright, and because of that chucking rule, you'll see a lot more double zone. They roll those corners up and try to get a piece of the receiver before he gets 5 yards down the field. That forces the 2 free safety position to come over and cover swiftly. It leaves a little pocket in there. That time Zorn saw it. Largent didn't, and I really think it was just a miscommunication.
Largent, coming into this game, had made 35 catches. That's second in the conference. Swan had 38. The all-pro wide receiver of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Second down, 10. Seahawks and the Bronco 38. Duke Ferguson's in there as wide receiver. They go out to that sideline to Testament. Testament is taken at the 34. He's hit by Bill Thompson of Maryland State. Year after year in losing seasons for the Broncos, Thompson did not get credit. Now they finally realize he's one of the best.
We've talked about Jim Zorn, the things he can do. We all know he can run around, but he's not just a sprint-out, scrambling type quarterback. He's got an excellent drop. His weight's right. He goes right over the top of his legs when he throws the ball. He gets plenty on it. He puts the ball where he wants, and he seems to have everybody in the game. We saw Jack Dolman get taken out early in the game because of a real hard. But harder than that, he gets hit by Foley, who's been a very aggressive corner.
Here in the Kingdome in Seattle with the score still.
Television with Computer Color 330, new from Magnavox. Now from Magnavox, 30 Videomatic TV.
More. Oh boy.
Testerman was taken out, number 42. It's 4th and 5. Here's a tough call.
All right, we'll get to it in a second. I like it.
They're going for something. They're on the Denver 34. Look out, he's hit from behind. Bob Nerney came in, a first sack on Zorn in the game. Nerney, number 58 of Oregon State, circled in very quickly, had the penetration, and brought him down, and Denver stops him and takes over.
Okay, that's fine, but what I like most is Patera's willingness to do the things that have got them into a position where they're 4-4. They know personnel-wise they don't quite stand up to Denver. They made a good drive. They got the ball in good position. Earlier, it earned them a touchdown, but instead of taking 3 points, that's the difference in their lead. If you're going to criticize them, go before the ball. I thought it was a good idea. It just came up bad.
First down, Denver on the 41 of Denver. Morton. Off to Lonnie Perrin. Perrin to the 47 of Denver. It's a 6-yard gain. He was brought down by Cornell Webster, the left cornerback. Testerman was hit hard on that pass play, and he looks woozy there, John.
Well, he's got to be if he's...
Larry Canada now is the running back. Red Miller alternates running backs. He has 6 of them, more than any coach in the NFL. There goes Canada. Big hole, and he rips over it for a first down, and he's down on the Seattle 44-yard line by John Harris, the free safety.
And you get the feeling Canada's playing more and more in spots, but when he's in there, he seems to be doing a lot of the ball carrying, and he's doing what he does best. Denver matches up very well against Seattle, running the ball on the ground. The offensive line, again, has done an outstanding job of moving the defense around. Canada's clone.
Doran checking with his box. Lonnie Perrin outside. Well, he's brought down by number 53, rookie linebacker Chief Butler of Memphis State. He was in there. Let's take a look at a rerun on this one.
How many times do you see a team that drafts their number 1 and number 2 from the same college? Both he and Keith Simpson came out of Memphis State. And Bob Zeman, who I regard as one of the finest defensive people in this game, is coaching the Broncos, and he said he worked him out before the draft, and he said he was the best linebacker he'd seen in college.
Second down, 12. Broncos on the Seahawks 46. Seattle ahead, 14-10. 9 minutes to go in the third period. The deep drop by Morton. Lobs it out to Canada. 45. And he's dropped at the 42-yard line. He's hit there by 38. Cornell Webster, who appears to be a sure tackler in that open field.
Both he and Autry Beeman are both good tacklers, and we know about Dave Brown. Good secondary.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is Channel 5, KING-TV, Seattle.
We're back here in the Kingdome, Seattle. 14-10 the score. Seattle ahead. Kurt Gowdy and John Brody. The man you just saw, Jack Patera, went hunting yesterday. He's getting like Bud Grant.
I think he plays this game the way it should be.
Third down. 8 to go. He's going to be sacked. He's down at the 44. That's the second sack by Seattle. And it was Bill Gregory, and he's recorded both of them.
Let me show you what a viewpoint like a Patera's is. It's 4th down and 5. One series ago, they go for it and miss. Okay, what does that do? It really tests your defense, right? They come out, they stop Denver without gaining more than 20 yards. Now, the defense for the Seahawks has been to the test. They're not waiting around to see what they can do. They're after it.
Punt formation. Bucky Dilts will kick the Rufus Crawford. They went after him. The angles went up. And it is going to be, it's a fine kick. It's down. It's down on the 7-yard line. Dilts doesn't have the average of last year, but he's excellent at kicking the ball dead inside the 20. So we'll return here to the Kingdome with the score. Seattle 14 and Denver 10.
Nobody does it better than Hertz.
Nobody does it better. Hertz leads the others by far. Nobody does it best before you. Hertz, the superstar.
Nobody has more of what it takes to rid you of Fairmont, Mustang, LTD, or other fine car faster.
Hertz, the superstar.
You know it.
From the Sierras to the Smokies, people are discovering what makes the great outdoors great.
Beer makes it good.
Beer's just one Schlitz.
There's no debate.
Nothing else comes near.
Beer makes it good.
When you're out of Schlitz,
Schlitz makes it great.
you're out of beer.
11 million times a day, America reaches for a Schlitz. Every drop show lagered for quality since 1849.
Schlitz makes it like no other good. Schlitz makes it great.
The game-breaking plays, the hottest new craze, all pros in action, the latest in fashion, straight-talking views and late-breaking news, the pregame show that has it all, NFL 78.
They must be running that ball a lot in Oakland. Same starting time as here in Seattle, and that's at the end of the third quarter now. Oakland leading San Diego 20-14. Pops just scored on a 1-yard quarterback sneak to put San Diego back in.
Danny's a fine quarterback, but 1 yard's just about his distance running.
First down, Seattle in a hole on their own 7-yard line. Testerman, and he fights his way to his 9-yard line, and that's it. Second down, 8 to go. Let's watch Swenson as he tries to hang in on this play.
Well, this is when it's so tough. The linebackers know if we can keep you down in a hole, if we don't give you a first down, you're not liable to throw the ball. However, in Zorn's case, he may be. But it gets very tight down there, whether you're on your own 10 or inside the other team's 10. The action gets pretty stiff. 2 yards isn't a bad pickup in that situation.
Now Denver wants to contain him and make him punt out of here or force him into a mistake. Second down, 8. 9-yard line of Seattle. Testerman in motion. We got a mess up there. They have a fumble. And they do.
Paul Smith.
Looked like John Granson there.
Paul Smith came out with the ball.
Had it, 70. That's a second-line unit on the field right now in the front three. Paul Smith, the only remaining Bronco from the AFL years.
I played against Paul Smith several years ago when he was really what they considered to be in his prime, and he hasn't gone downhill much. They don't consider themselves to have a second unit. They've got the ball on the 10.
First and goal to go. And crashing almost to the 5-yard line. They're running a straight-ahead power, that time behind Bobby Maples. Dennis Boyd making the stop on Lonnie Perrin. Perrin, the University of Illinois. He'll be replaced now by Larry Canada. Second down, 5 to go for a Denver touchdown that could put them in front.
Bobby Maples may be playing when he's 50 if he plays like this.
Lone setback is Canada. Good on short yardage. There he goes. They just nip him.
I think he got in, but they don't seem to think so.
Oh, I think he went down there on the half-yard line. John Harris, the free safety, hit him.
Okay, we may get a chance to see it. Let's take a look at it from a cornerback viewpoint. Here comes Canada, nothing but a mass of bodies. Cornerback Harris hits him right near the goal line. They really saved a touchdown, and they were correct.
All right, it's on the 1-yard line, and the third different fullback in the last 3 plays comes in. John Keyworth now. They started with Perrin, then they inserted Canada, and now they replace him with Keyworth.
And a lot of the reason for it is that they can't exchange plays with their receivers, Upchurch and Dalvin, because Upchurch is doing all the playing.
Third down, 1 yard to go for a Bronco touchdown. He's in there. Lonnie Perrin. They have the 2 big backs in there. Perrin and Keyworth, and Perrin scores, and Denver takes the lead. As they forced the mistake, Bucky Dills punted it dead at the 7, and there it is.
Here we go, taking a look from downstairs. The congestion is fierce. The linebackers can't find a way to get to the hole. Cornell Webster comes too late. And Lonnie Perrin's in for 6, puts them ahead by 2.
Jim Turner. Holding will be Craig Morton. The point is good. Denver has the lead for the second time in the game. They grabbed the early lead. So the score now is Denver 17 and Seattle 14.
Dawn launch, Sea of Japan.
see a recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
The Saint is marching in. Dodge introduces the Saint Regis, the full-size car of the future. Trim outside, roomy inside, luxuriously appointed, but with the efficiency of the automotive electronic age. The new Saint Regis by Dodge.
That's my Dodge.
Yeah. Lonnie Parrott, who just scored the go-ahead touchdown, will kick it off for Denver. Rufus Crawford, number 34, Al Hunter, number 24, are back at their own 3-yard line. And this was the pattern that Denver set last year, forcing the opponents into mistakes in their own territory and then cashing in. They forced the Zorn fumble and quickly went into the lead.
That's the way they play, and they have to get those kind of breaks.
Al Hunter waits for the kick on the 3. He's out to the 10. Trying to get that outside blocking. Squirts over the 25 and is down in his 27-yard line. Denver had down there number 46 covering that kickoff. That's Dave Preston, the rookie. Time permitting, stay tuned following our game for the Sperry NFL Report. There's the brief story, and it's very brief, of that last Broncos scoring drive. All right, let's see what Seattle does now. They're a good team when they're behind. They come back. They're explosive. Remember, this was the #1 passing team in the National Football League, averaging over 200 yards a game passing. Smith over the 30 to the 31-yard line. Sherm Smith, who's been the best runner today for the Seahawks. Louis Wright hit him there, the left cornerback. 2nd down, 6. Let's check Smith's figures. He now has 48 yards, 11 carries.
That's pretty impressive when you consider the fact that they haven't had the ball much.
You're right, John. The Broncos have had the most possession and run the most plays in scrimmage. 2nd down, 6. Slot left. Smith again fights through tacklers and appears to have the 1st down. He made that on his own. He had the hole originally. They tried to plug it up, and then he ripped them.
I've seen an awful lot of teams that have played all day long and have not made a penetration past the line of scrimmage as far as Sherman Smith gets on this particular play. They have broken the backs into the defensive backfield on 5 or 6 different occasions today. I'd say their offense is effective. They've only got 14 points on the board, but that's far below what Denver usually gives up.
You just saw what coaches like to call arm tackling on the part of Denver. They didn't hit the ball carrier. They grabbed him by the arm. Zorn on 1st down to the sideline. It's complete. And that is number 84, Sam McCullum of Montana State. Bozeman, Montana. Flag is down.
So is an official.
Official went down with the flag at the 45-yard line as somebody ran under him. McCullum scored the 1st touchdown in the game on a 44-yard reception. An eligible receiver downfield.
I wonder if it was the man who hit the official.
Well, this will cancel the game. Tom Jackson comes in there, and he's directing the strategy, number 57. He reminds me a lot of Tom Henderson down there with the Dallas Cowboys. They're both such super athletes.
You've got it.
Fun guys.
Ineligible downfield, number 61 offense. Repeat 1st down.
That was Tom Lynch, the left guard, who somehow got in his mind that he's another Steve Largent. Red Miller. See why they call him Red? Oh, that's brick red, isn't it? On the 28-yard line. 1st and 20. Seattle. Been stalled here in the 3rd period. The toss. Here it is. Complete. And that was a fine catch by Duke Ferguson of San Diego State, a 2nd-year player.
And the impressive thing is that he bobbled the ball when he first touched it. He still was able to get his feet in and get control of it. Now the officials see that he bobbled the ball, and they're taking it back.
Well, we have
Or
another
maybe
flag down. It's a flag, John, in the backfield, and there's Jackson or Gradishar with another weighty decision. Put him back, says Gradishar. March him back. They want to pin him back there again and cause a mistake.
Denver well knows what that's like.
Let's listen to this one.
Holding, number 76, offense, down.
That's Steve August, the right tackle, who held. That puts Seattle back on their 18-yard line. They have now a first down and 30 yards to go. Look at the yards penalized. Broncos in the first half had most of them. Now the Seahawks are catching up. First and 30. What can you do? Just what Zorn's doing, setting up a screen to Shane Smith. Smith dancing around at the 20. Finally wrapped up at the 23-yard line of the Broncos. He's hit there by number 51, Swinson, and Don Lattimore, number 72. Very quick rookie nose guard.
They've got 2 plays to pick up a little bit over 23, maybe it's 24 yards. And they're down in a very poor field position to be firing that thing 20 or 30 yards down the field to pick it up in one play. I look very much for Zorn to try and hit either McCullum or Larson outside about 14 yards.
Carter goes in there as nose guard. Second down, 25. The toss over the head of number 84, Sam McCullum. He had curled in, was open. Zorn had a big rush on him that time by Barney Chavis, the left end defensively. He had to unload in a hurry. It's 3rd and 25, and Zorn's probably had the worst day of the season, or maybe his Seattle career. 7 out of 20, that is for passing percentage.
Yeah, the worst day statistically.
Statistically, but he scored a touchdown and passed for a touchdown.
You know what I think of those, and he's had about he's had about 3 of them called back. He's hit the receivers that were actually open. It may have appeared to have his receiver open, then I didn't think he was.
3rd down, 25. They have to get to their own 48 for a first down. They let him come in. Throws on the run, and that's an incomplete forward pass. Broncos are rushing in and arguing that it was intentionally grounding. The only way it's intentionally grounding if you throw the ball to avoid losing yardage.
Well, do you think that may have been what he did? Whether they called
Miller thinks so. Look at Red.
I agree with Miller. Right then, it was a great play made possible by Reuben Carter and also Gradishar forcing Zorn out of the pocket. And when he did so, he had nobody to throw to. There was no receiver in the area. I may disagree with the rule that says you have to find a receiver, but that play, he wasn't looking to throw to anybody.
That old rule is gone. They just have to avoid yardage. There's a high kick by Herb Weaver. Upchurch will call for the fair catch on his 39-yard line, where Denver will put the ball in play right after this message.
Life is for living, and Visa is there.
Antique treasures, touring pleasures, bright fabric by the yard, magic castles, Moorish tassels, teasing the guard. Camp wagons, there's dragons, aloha or goodbye, fettuccine, sukiyaki, ice cream and apple pie, Spanish dancers, Arctic prancers, your own place in the sun.
Visa is the most widely recognized card in the world. Visa, we're keeping up with you.
I'm Merlin, the electronic wizard, challenging you to 6 computer games. Start with simple tic-tac-toe. Your turn, my turn. I'll tell you if you win and when you lose. Play all kinds of games. Echo, Blackjack 13, Magic Square, or formidable Mind Bender, or make beautiful music together. Merlin, the electronic wizard from Parker Brothers.
The big D is the story here in the third quarter. That's defense for Denver. Their defense is dominating right now and forced Seattle into a mistake and then cashed in on it with a touchdown. Larry Canada ripping through, but as he does, a yellow flag flutters down at the 40-yard line. He gets yards, John.
You bet. Those do have a tendency, though, to spoil your drives, and we just saw Seattle twice complete balls that were called back because of penalty. Now on first down, Denver gets the same thing happening to them.
Denver will be penalized. Denver has averaged 20 times in a first down situation, 7 yards. Seattle has averaged 6 yards. Hey, that's excellent. Boy, when you come up with a 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, that's a better way to play football.
Number 71 offense, repeat first down.
Takes all the brilliance out of those quarterback calls.
See what's happening down in Oakland. Field goal by Earl Mann, 25 yards. Oakland leading San Diego 23-14. Lytle brought down on his 40-yard line around the ankles by Ernie Price, the left end, and Bill Sandifer, the right tackle. Sandifer, number 66 out of UCLA. 6 yards. 2nd down, 9 to go. Lytle's out. Now Dave Preston comes in. Could that mean a pass? They like to throw to him sometimes.
Well, that's what Seattle thinks, because they've brought in their five-back defense. They brought in an extra linebacker, and they're going with a 3-man line. We haven't seen much of that today.
Largent has been shut down today. He's had only 1 reception. Really been on him. They've doubled him every time. 2nd down, 9. Deflected at the line of scrimmage. That was deflected by Ernie Price, number 62, who's been the best pass rusher this year for Seattle.
Well, I tell you, those 2 defensive ends seem to be doing the job in key situations. That time, 62 batted it down, but it was really made possible by Bill Gregory, who got around Claudia Minor, and you can see it's getting kind of active in there.
Yeah.
They do care.
3rd down and 9. Preston's out. Lytle's back in.
Tom Lynch sitting on the bench waiting his turn.
2 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Denver ahead, 17-14. The blitz. They're going to try and blitz him. He's throwing deep. There's Upchurch out there. Nearly intercepted by Cornell Webster. Webster finally caught up with him and nearly grabbed it. Looked like Upchurch was going to walk away from him.
Well, Upchurch could have gone quite a bit farther. He beat Webster originally. Webster made a good reaction to the ball. The ball was a bit underthrown. Very well seen by Morton. A lot of times when they blitz, you won't go to your deep man. He picked the proper receiver to go to, just didn't execute.
Punt formation with Bucky Dills, Rufus Crawford. He's not very deep. He's on his own 20. They go after him, and they get a little piece of it. The ball squirting around. Seattle's going to have excellent field position now on the 47-yard line. They really went after him. And then there was number 48. Watch where the kicker goes down.
You mentioned they went after it, and don't think a kicker can't feel that pressure coming in. He catches the ball high on his foot, then he kind of falls in the pile, but none of that was generated by the defensive pass rush or kick rush. Seattle's got fine field position.
He was lucky to come out of there, Dilts. All right, so now Seattle has forced a mistake or put the pressure on. They're on the Denver 48 with a first down, trailing by 3 points late in the 3rd quarter. Play action pass. Dorn, short shot to the tight end Howard. And Howard's dumped, but he probably has the first down. Bonnie Howard from Seattle, hit by Tom Jackson. They look to the yardstick. First down, Seattle on the Denver 38.
You know, sometimes you say, well, he comes off to his receiver late because no one's open downfield. However, that play was designed to have both wide receivers take the secondary down the field. Ron Howard slow block, which meant stayed in and helped on the defensive end, then slipped out, and Zorn was going to him all the way.
First down. They're on the Denver 38-yard line. Zorn again looking.
They're going again.
Same play. This one is nearly grabbed by Smith. He popped it up in the air, went after it again, and battling with him was Randy Gradishar, and it just drops with an incomplete pass. 2nd down, 10.
Exactly the same thing happened. Here comes Zorn on a little play-action pass, and he's doing it to Smith. The man he fakes to goes in as if it's a fake, comes out underneath the linebackers. Gradishar makes a quick recovery, or Smith would have had a big gain.
That punt of 8 yards by Bucky Dilts under heavy pressure. has given Seattle a chance now with a 2nd and 10. They're on the 38-yard line of the Denver Broncos. 1 minute to go in the 3rd period. Hand off to Smith, and he really started somewhere, and then suddenly John Grant from behind nicked him around the ankles and brought him down, number 63. Field goal by San Diego. They're having a scrap down there. 6 minutes to play in the game. It is now Oakland 23, San Diego 17.
They had a pretty good scrap earlier in the year, and I don't think either team's forgotten it. And right here, they're not having a bad scrap.
3rd and 3. Seattle on the Denver 31. Sprint out over the head of number 42, Don Testament, to stop the clock. 14 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. 4th and 3.
All year long, Zorn has been able to sprint out and oftentimes break the containment. However, Svensson has been playing the play perfectly from his left side. Rizzo's been playing it great from the other side. They've been doing a job at containing Zorn when he's trying to do what he does best, which is get outside the contain and find somebody open or run it.
Well, he's hit 61% for the season. Today he has 33%, 8 out of 24. Herrera will try a 49-yard field goal that could tie this game. Officials' time. Now Denver's asked for time.
You know, a lot of times, Kurt, I can understand that. There's 14 seconds left in the half. They'd like to make sure he kicks it this way rather than go the other because of some sort of a wind factor. Excuse me, the 3rd quarter, because the ball will be changing hands in 14 seconds. But we're under a dome, and there isn't much wind factor. So I don't understand what their thought is unless they're not ready for any possible happening.
John, do you think they thought they might have had 10 or 12 players in the field?
I don't think they had too many players on the field, but I do think, as you pointed out,
they might have thought so, though.
Yeah, either that, they were uncertain that they knew what they were doing defensively.
So now they'll have 2 timeouts left.
You know,
well, the old gag about, you know, you're a great golfer, letting that fella take a little more time to putt and think about it, or a free throw shooter, putting more pressure on him, calling the timeout, letting him think about it.
I can understand that, Kurt, if they were down in the 30, but they're really almost outside Herrera's range. And so his viewpoint has got to be, hey, if I get it in there, good for me. If I don't, so be it.
He misses it. The ball will come back to the 31-yard line of Denver's. 49-yard field goal attempt by Herrera. And the kick is up. That one is no good. He drove it to the left. He had the distance.
He gave it a rip.
But it was to the left. Yeah, he put some leg into that one. It'll be Denver's ball. 1st down, and Seattle failed to cash in when they had the ball in Denver territory. 10 seconds to go, and there's your score in the 3rd period. They were talking to John Thompson, the president general manager, and Mark Duncan, the assistant general manager, what Seattle needed next year, and they're going to draft defensive players, especially down linemen. They like their offense. They want to show up their defense. Craig Morton, right down. Here's a curl by Upchurch. Upchurch went down to the 45, curl back in. That's good enough for a 1st down with Webster right behind him. He had the inside position.
I love Upchurch. He was down there, and he made such a fast turn. You know, from the time you commit to making your break to when you get your head turned around and in a position to catch the ball is a big thing for a receiver, and he does it great.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter in the Kingdome here in Seattle with a score. Denver 17, Seattle 14.
They go forward. They go backward. They go back and forth in a hammering action. They go through wood, steel, concrete, granite. No matter what it is, a Black & Decker drill can put a hole in it. In fact, anything a drill can do, Black & Decker makes a drill that can do it. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
From South Carolina to North Dakota, they know what makes a state fair a great fair.
Beer makes it good.
It's just 1 Schlitz.
There's no debate.
Nothing else comes near.
Beer makes it good.
When you're out of Schlitz.
Schlitz makes it great.
You're out of beer.
Nobody makes it like Schlitz. Every drop chill lagered for quality. 11 million times a day, America reaches for a Schlitz. Because since 1849, Schlitz makes it great.
So when it comes to beer, why make it good? Schlitz makes it like no other good. Schlitz makes it great.
The race for the 1980 Olympics has already begun. The games in Moscow are just the last lap of a long, grueling race that's going on right now. We've got the talent, but we need your support. Because America doesn't send athletes to the Olympics, Americans do. Don't let our team get caught short. Send a contribution to U.S. Olympic Committee, Box 1980T, Cathedral Station, Boston. For $25 or more, you'll receive this Olympic tote bag. This message furnished by the U.S. Olympic Committee and NBC.
We're going to give you that address again, so get a pencil and paper so you can write it down. The coaching head men, Patera was on the left, Red Miller on the right. First down, Denver, their own 44. They take a 3-point lead into the fourth quarter of this game, and they send Lonnie Perrin into the line for a short gain, maybe 3 yards to his 47. Dennis Boyd, the left tackle of Oregon State, stopped him. Edward Gowdy, John Brody here, 301 yards for Denver. Who says they don't have any offense? And 171 yards for Seattle. Denver scored first with a field goal. Seattle came back with a 44-yard touchdown pass, Zorn to McCullum. 4-yard run by Zorn. They led 14-3. Denver made it 14-10. Rick Upton taking the pass. Otis Armstrong, who hasn't played much today, slips and falls down around the 50-yard line. And in the third quarter, Zorn fumbled on a 7-yard line of Seattle, and Denver took it in with Lonnie Perrin bucking over 1 yard out. That's been it. Here's that address again. It's tax deductible, U.S. Olympics, Post Office Box 1980T, Cathedral Station, Boston, Mass. 02118. I'm still trying to figure out where Cathedral Station is. 50-yard line, third down, 4.
Spare time.
Morton, beautiful protection. Preston couldn't hold on to it. He was whanged into by number 53, Keith Butler. It's a very aggressive young linebacker, John. But
sure he is, but what happened is the ball was thrown just a little bit late. It's a delay play. Morton went back, allowed the linebackers to get back. However, Butler wasn't buying much. By the time he got to Preston, the game was over.
Rufus Crawford drops back to the 10-yard line. Now, the last time, watch the blue line. Watch the blue line. They went in after him. They sent 6 or 7 men. Bucky Dilts will be the punter.
The fact that they did it last time will at least put some concern in his head. It might be a pretty good time for a return.
They have 10 men up at the line of scrimmage. Just another timeout.
Sign of a veteran. Maples was scared they didn't have it covered.
No, they just delay. There's something about the ball. He has to snap it, the veteran Bobby Maples.
What it is he got him to stop play without having to call a timeout by knowing they didn't have the situation handled, and all he has to do is call the attention of the official to the ball. That gives him enough time to regroup, think about what it is they have to do. The crowd here knows what he's trying to do. Somehow he didn't get caught. That's why he's been around so long.
Your boo sprinkling down.
Well, here we go again.
Now, this is delay a game. And Dilts probably doesn't mind that.
I thought he was going to get away for nothing.
We've just entered the fourth quarter.
Game. Offense, still 4th down.
Well, they have about a 4th and 9. And they still, well, they're putting 8 men up front and a couple of men right and back.
I don't think they're coming, pal.
Crawford all by himself. Now they get 10 men. They're going. Short, high kick. Crawford. Fair catches. 16-yard line. Seattle's ball, first down. Well, Dilts did his job on that one. A timeout before Seattle takes over, with the score still Denver 17 and Seattle 14.
Hey, here he comes! Hey, Mom!
All
All across America, our new Dodge Diplomat wagon is getting a great reception. Maybe it's because Diplomat is one of the few wagons with optional leather seating. Or that it offers over 70 cubic feet of cargo space. Or that it's just so affordable. Whatever it is, our Dodge Diplomat wagon is getting a lot of attention these days. Maybe too much.
That's my Dodge.
This is a perfect JCPenney combination of style and savings. From now until November 3rd, our Luxury Touch Blazer, reversible vest, and slacks are each 20% off. Their rich look and feel make this a real value. But there's more. If you buy this blazer, vest, and 2 pairs of slacks, you've got a coordinated wardrobe of 6 different combinations in a choice of colors. Luxury Touch clothes at JCPenney. This is the way to lock up a great look for yourself.
Nobody offers Super Saver discount fares to so much of this land as United. United built the largest airline in the free world around you.
All the Denver teammates of Bucky Dilts have been congratulating him. He hung one up there, forced the fair catch at the 16. Seattle now has a long way to go. And they bring the ball club out in a standard throw set, wide receiver on each side. First down. Dorn out to the sideline. He has his man out there. That's number 89, Duke Ferguson from San Diego State.
He's another man, Kurt, that they got in that trade with Dallas.
Yeah, that trade with Dallas is a very interesting topic of conversation here. Tony Dorsett. They exchanged #1 picks. Dallas took Dorsett. And Seattle ended up with Dallas's #1 pick and 3 #2 choices, and 3 of those men are playing first string now. They needed bodies, playing personnel. Zorn on that deep handoff, Sherm Smith. That's their favorite play, where Zorn starts to sprint out and then it gives him the deep handoff in the backfield.
Okay, we've mentioned Sherman Smith. He hasn't had too much national acclaim, but everybody that's played against him knows of the many qualities he has that can help a ball club. Here you see him as an inside runner. You've seen him as an outside runner, a pass catcher, a blocker leading the other running back for the Seahawks. He does it all, and he does it all well.
He has 66 yards rushing, 14 carries. Al Hunter goes out. They're short of running backs with the injury to David Sims of Georgia Tech. They just put Tony Benjamin on the roster, a second-year man from Duke. And that's it. Well, they could play Rufus Crawford from Virginia State, a rookie. Been mainly a kick and punt returner. Timeout. Charge to Seattle. They have 2 left. They took a timeout in the huddle.
Not too many people saving their timeouts for the last few minutes, and it's a very tight game. Could be meaningful. Zorn talking with Howard Mudd.
While he talks it over, John, we'll leave you for a minute with the score. 17-14 Denver.
Hey, nice. Where'd you get it?
Avis Rent-A-Car.
Avis introduces rent-a-cars you wish you owned, like the Chevy Caprice.
I think I'll park it myself.
The Cadillac Sedan DeVille, the Olds Cutlass, Buick Regal, the Pontiac Grand Prix. Rent-a-cars you wish you owned. Avis now features GM cars.
Avis, we don't know another way.
It's drag racing champion, 240-mile-an-hour Tom McEwen. And 40-mile-an-hour Fred Dreyer, dune buggy champ of the L.A. Rams.
Hey, Fred, you better watch the speed limit.
Look, Tom, they don't call me the Sandman for nothing, you know.
Yeah, but first of all, you're a Pennzoil man, right?
I put Pennzoil quality in all my buggies.
Pennzoil quality.
Ask for it.
Yeah.
Mr. Gary Coleman speaks out on the subject of physical fitness.
It takes a lot of work. I wasn't born with this terrific body.
Gary's coming soon to NBC.
Confused in the huddle, Seattle took the timeout. Denver has 2 left. They had to take one on a defensive situation. Seattle has 2 left. They have the ball on their 28-yard line. with a first down. Testament's in at running back. Zorn fake to him. Zorn scrambles out, throws the ball to number 87, Ron Howard, and hit the artificial surface incomplete. Second down, 10. Denver right now is playing the kind of defense that won them the AFL championship last year.
It's the sort of thing that the people in Denver had become accustomed to expecting, and it kind of caught up. And now they're just playing outstanding defense. It's not what you'd call unbelievable. You know, they haven't come up with the same miracles, but they've got the same people, all of them having good years. It's almost not good enough for Denver their defense to play this way. And in the last quarter, they've played outstandingly well, better than they have prior this year.
They claim they own the fourth quarter. They almost do. I think they scored 56 points to the opponent's 7 in the fourth period. The wide scramble, the toss, incomplete, way out of bounds, intended for Steve Largent. And again, he was double teamed. And Zorn, what's going on back there?
Well, you see, again, it's those linebackers forcing Zorn when he gets outside the pocket to put his attention on one receiver. Now, he can't throw it all the way across the field. Here goes Bebout. He's trying to handle Alzado. Alzado's coming around. But he's not really the guy that made the force. The force was made by Svensson, all right? When he does so, he puts Zorn in a position where he's throwing the ball and he doesn't want to. He's got to throw it away.
Zorn's over in the sideline. Jack Patera, a rather unemotional coach. And now coming in is Steve Meyer, backup quarterback, third-year player from New Mexico, and they're very high on him, too. They think they have 2 fine young quarterbacks here in this organization.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, Jim Zorn is a great quarterback. Steve Meyer is a good one.
And a new quarterback on the field. This usually happens. The exchange, bad timing between the center and the quarterback. Flags were dropped. Came out of there sloppily, as you saw. In the meantime, Zorn, they're trying to talk upstairs and find out what they can do to crack this tenacious Denver defense that refuses to let Zorn scramble around at the legal delay, that is containing his receivers.
I think you hit the situation right on the head. They didn't bench Jim Zorn, but Zorn came out kind of exposed that, hey, I got to get something together here. We're not together. I'm a little confused. He talked upstairs to Jerry Rome with Howard Mudd. It means they've got an awful lot of confidence in a kid like Myers.
Delay of game, offense, third down.
He came in for one play. Zorn maybe has it straight now. We'll see on the next call. At least he'll have some idea of what he wants to accomplish.
They have a third down and 15. Denver ahead 17-14. Seattle led at the half. McCullum, Largent, Rabel. 3 wide men in. Now he's got time. Shoots it on the run a little high. And the pass intercepted by Svensson. Svensson took the ricochet and came up with it. And it'll be Denver's ball. And that is the 3rd turnover charged to Seattle, 2 in this half.
All right, you mentioned earlier, Kurt, that, hey, Denver's really playing the kind of defense they're capable of playing. And this is the kind of defense they have to play, that they've been known for playing. The very opportunistic, outstanding big play defense. Bob Svensson's having a fine year, but this is one of the few really big plays he's had. This is a turnover. It turns the tide of a game that's very close with 12 minutes left to play. Their defense did it.
Denver's ball, Seattle's 45. The pitch is to Lytle. Lytle made a yard. They could have had him behind the line of scrimmage. Svensson, who has come up with one of those turnovers. They have been nagged, those 4 Denver linebackers, who many consider the best in one team in the National Football League. Jackson has been outstanding, but he hasn't made some of the big plays. Maybe he hasn't had the chances that he did last year. Gradishar's had a hip injury. Svensson's been hurt. They've been tough today.
You create chances.
Right.
And that's what they've been doing in the last quarter.
Second down, 9. Denver leading. 11.5 to go. 3-point lead for the Broncos. Morton off to Keyworth. Keyworth stopped at the 41-yard line. He ran into Cornell Webster and Keith Thompson. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
You know, Keith Thompson was their first draft choice, Kurt, and they expected to play him an awful lot in the secondary. However, he came up with a real bad hamstring pull. Hasn't been able to break into the lineup. They feel he's over that problem, and they're going to try and insert him when the time permits it. Right now, they're playing a 5-back defense with 2 linebackers, and time permits it.
3rd and 6. On the 41-yard line of Seattle. Moses in motion. That's Preston. Preston squirts for the first down. Good run by Dave Preston, the rookie of Bowling Green. And Denver now has a chance to keep their march alive. Look at this, San Diego. Fouts just passed to Greg McCrary, 29 yards, 52 seconds remaining, and San Diego leads Oakland 24-23.
And the outcome of that game could dictate the standings after 9 games in this season. Obviously, Denver's getting the best of it right now. They can take an outright lead. However, if Seattle wins, it'd be a 3-way tie.
You saw Seattle last week. You wouldn't believe they could beat anybody.
Yep.
First down on the 30-yard line. And number 76, Tom Neville moved that time. Neville jumped, anticipating. He shakes his head. How can I do that? I've only been around 13 years.
Tom doesn't do it very often. Those offensive linemen have a very thankless job. The only time you really mention their name is when they get called for a penalty.
But he just threw a good block on that run of Preston, so
he's a good tackle.
Ball start, number 76, offense, first down.
There he goes. You can't even move your eyeballs in that situation, tackle to tackle. First down and 15. Denver on the Seattle 35. Denver ahead, 17-14, and perhaps with a chance to take over sole leadership. Larry Canada's piled up at the 33-yard line.
It's curious to me whether or not them announcing the score down in Oakland with San Diego taking a 24-23 lead has an effect. I know it's pumped up the crowd. And if the crowd can pump up the home team, I think the effect would be more in Seattle's favor.
Steve Niehaus leaves the game, and the 5th secondary back, Keith Thompson, comes in. Peter Cronin, an extra linebacker, is in.
Listen to the crowd, pal.
Yeah, they're picking up now. They've been rather quiet. Second down, 13. Morton pegs. Moses is jarred loose, but that is a clean, legal hit at him. 44, Harris. 22, Dave Brown going for the ball along with the receiver. And Morton got to hit himself when he let it go.
Real good defense because Denver dissected the weakness in the double zone. They got underneath the up man, Dave Brown. He comes underneath John Harris, making a real fine play from his free safety position. Moses really didn't have a very good chance at the ball.
Man, they earn their money when they curl in there, don't they?
That's right. Jack Christensen, I was talking to him before the game. He said, we have a lot of young kids that are really enthusiastic about playing. And he said, you know, that's what makes defensive secondaries. He said he likes his.
9 minutes, 7 seconds to play. Third down, 13 for the Broncos. Seattle's 33. And he was hit. As he let the ball go, they hit him in the arm. Steve Niehaus got to him. I believe he's the first player drafted by the Seattle organization.
Okay, what did that 5-yard penalty cost them? As we look at it now, it may have taken them out of field goal range. I think they're not even going to try one. 5 yards took them from 44 to 49. They're not even going to make an attempt at that. Let's take a look at Niehaus, the first man drafted by the Seahawks when their organization started. Good penetration on Morton, and that's the way it's going.
Bucky Dilson, punt formation. Again, Seattle's lining up with 10 men on the line of scrimmage, and there's the only man back, Crawford. They go back to block. He sort of bangs it around up there, and it is in the end zone for a touchback. Desperate measures trying to get that ball back out of the end zone. But they couldn't do it, so we'll return here to the Kingdome in Seattle with a score. Denver 17, Seattle 14.
We cooked something special for dinner.
About half the house.
Now what? We can't stay here.
Can the insurance help?
That takes time.
Allstate helps right away. Our first concern is to take care of you.
Here's an advance for food and a place to stay.
Allstate Homeowners Insurance takes care of the damage and you.
Can we get a place with a kitchen?
Sure. But let's eat out tonight.
Help when you need it. That's Allstate.
And that's a promise from us, the good hands people.
When
When you want it cut out quick, our brand's the one to pick. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC. We'll help you pick up speed, and speed is what you need. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC. So when you want to go, we're the name to know. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC.
Thanks, AC.
Next Sunday, regional coverage of exciting NFL action. Telecasts include the Patriots versus the Bills, Cleveland at Houston, and the Jets versus the Broncos. Check local listings for the game in your area.
Down in Oakland, San Diego, with 14 seconds to go, just intercepted a Stabler pass. Here San Diego would be in. And we'll give you the situations that can happen here with just under 9 minutes remaining in this game. Meyer is the quarterback, Steve Meyer. Meyer gives off to Smith. He's being corralled and dropped for a loss on his 19-yard line. And they just can't budge this defense. And that's number 70, Paul Smith. Second down, 11. If Denver wins this game, they would take over sole leadership of the Western Division of the American Conference. 6 wins, 3 losses. Oakland would be 5-4. In second place, Seattle would be third, 4-5. If Seattle rallies and wins this game, you'd have a 3-way tie for first place.
And then San Diego would only be 2 out.
Yeah. Second down, 11. Meyer out to Smith. Smith dragged down in his 24-yard line. John Grant, number 63, got him. Denver's deep up front. You know, they'll start 3 men and then start shuttling men in.
You know what I like is Jack Patera. Now, I'm not saying, look, their offense has been stymied by Denver this whole second half. Whatever Denver has done, they have confused Jim Zorn. That very rarely happens. Patera's not reluctant to put Steve Meyer in. They're going to send him back in the pocket, see if we can't hold people out for him, see if he can take us down the field.
This is
not a bad idea.
3rd and 6. Now a short screen pass. Smith makes a great catch, but the play gains maybe a yard. And that's how effective Denver is in this half. They have completely shut down Seattle.
They are in their huddle. They seem to be predicting what they're going to call, shutting off what it is, all their routes. Meyer has plenty of time to throw, and this is a screen pass. You're supposed to let people in. Finally, they do come in. A little screen center, you call it. Let everybody come in, form around the center. Sherm Smith has to outrun his offensive lineman. Great catch back to the line of scrimmage, and Denver does it again.
Punt formation, Herman Weaver. Kick it away from Rick Upchurch, Herman. You could be in trouble. He boots it down the field. Upchurch watches the front man take the ball. That's the up back, and that is Charlie West, number 40. He kicked it short rather than kick it to Upchurch. So Denver now has the ball to try and protect a 3-point lead with timeout.
This Olympus OM1 brought back photographs from around the world, but it wasn't on vacation. The OM1 went into combat, where rugged reliability is a necessity. The OM1 recorded disasters because it's fast and responsive. In fact, wherever you find news, you'll find the gutsy Olympus OM1. It's used by United Press International worldwide. The Olympus OM1. It's outsold all compact SLRs. You know our pictures. Now you know our name. The Olympus OM1 is #1.
Wherever you go, our new Dodge Diplomat is getting a terrific reception. Maybe it's because of the optional leather seating. Or its thrifty 225-6 engine. It might even be the Diplomat's just a lot of car for the money. Whatever it is, our Dodge Diplomat is getting such rave notices that a lot of other things are simply going unnoticed.
That's my Dodge.
Bucky Dilts and Don Latimer framing there's the final. Miami beating Baltimore 26-8. First down, Denver on their 43-yard line. John Keyworth hanging on to that ball with both hands. The sure way, he's at the 46-yard line, a 3-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 7. Denver 17, Seattle 14. At one stage, Seattle had a 14-3 lead late in the first half.
Since that time, it's been all Denver defense. They've set the tone for the game. They've given the ball to the offense in good field position. They've done the things that they grew a reputation for doing last year.
That was Jim Zorn, and he's gone against the defense today that they just hasn't been able to figure out.
Look out, Craig.
Look out, he goes down. He either missed the handoff, or sometimes he runs that bootleg play, and he wisely decided to heck with a bootleg, man. I'm going down right now.
Looks like a trapped rat.
Look at
He's no fool. Whoa. Let's make another turn around the circle.
Jim Zorn, he isn't running around with the ball.
No, but different style. Jim Zorn over there trying to get something together.
There's that defense. And you just saw a missed pass there from Craig Morton to Haven Moses. We're here in the Kingdome, Seattle, Washington. 5 minutes, 26 seconds remaining. And the Denver Broncos are leading the young Seattle Seahawks 17-14. Seattle led at halftime. Denver scored the only touchdown here in the second half. And now their defense has completely dominated the second half, looking just like a mirror of the defense of last year that won them the championship of the AFC. Fourth down, punt formation. They nearly got it. Not quite. Crawford at the 20. Crawford is wrapped up and down by Maurice Harvey, defensive back that came over from the Oakland Raiders, a 35-yard punt. Watch Bucky Dilts get down the field after he punched the ball. He's a real athlete.
Sure, he's a good athlete. Most of these punters are now, because there's several occasions when they've got to make tackles. You look at the Ray guys. You look at Bucky. He loves the action, and when a punter really likes what he's doing, I think it shows in his punting. Go get him, Buck.
Seattle's ball, first down on their 21-yard line. Steve Meyer is still the quarterback. Jack Patera very rarely changes expression. Well, he worked with Bud Grant for some years. That pass is bobbled around, but he still stayed in bounds, and he caught it on the 27-yard line, a 6-yard gain. Due to the length of today's game, Sperry's NFL report will not be seen.
You know, you mentioned that Jack Patera very rarely changes expressions. He very rarely changes quarterbacks either. In this case, I couldn't agree more with him. When a man calls timeout because he's a little confused and things have been going badly for him the whole half, here we go. San Diego just put another 3 points on the board. It's a final 27-23 San Diego.
They win it. They got a last 10-second field goal to seal it up. They had a 1-point lead. They rallied from a 20-7 deficit to win that game. He's out maybe for a first down. Last Sunday, John and I did the San Diego-Denver game, and all the San Diego group said, boy, we can hardly wait to get to Oakland. We want to avenge that fumble, the last play of the game that cost us. I think they were looking ahead, taking nothing away from the Lions, who evidently are coming along now. But San Diego went in, rallied, and beat Oakland. And how many times has Oakland lost 2 in a row in their own division?
It's a trap you can fall into in professional football, and it's been fallen into time and time and time again. You look back at the end of the season, you say, if we'd only beaten one of the worst teams in the league, we'd be in it. It happens every year. San Diego seems to have fallen in that trap more than most teams, and it's kept them out of a lot of division championships.
Meyer fading deep. The pass is complete. Fumbled in. He did not have possession or control. Crossing over was Steve Largent. Had the ball, but as he moved on, you can see he won't have control of it.
Well, you can pick on Louis Wright every once in a while, but if I had my druthers, I'd rather not pick on him too often. There's a well-thrown ball by Steve Meyer, but watch as Largent gets the ball and is coming down with it. Wright is in a position where he gets him before he can grab the ball, take it to his chest, and almost creates another turnover.
Second down, 10 for Seattle. They're trailing 17-14. Jim Zorn watching his teammate quarterback the club now. Zorn had 9 out of 27, 33% for him, 61% average. But don't go against him. Give that Denver defense credit. They have really been something in the second half. He's got his receiver. That is Duke Ferguson. Ferguson on a crossing pattern. 50-yard line, first down, and Seattle is now moving for the first time, really, this half.
They just keep testing him. I don't think Louis Wright's had this much work since his rookie season, the first 2 or 3 ball games. I said you go broke keeping after him. They don't seem to agree with me. Meyer puts the ball right where it has to be thrown to Ferguson. He gets right underneath Louis Wright. I've seen a lot of guys come up broke, but that's where they're cashing in.
They're just short of the 50. The Seahawks, they're 3 points short. Steve Meyer from New Mexico. They have 1 running back in there right now, Sherm Smith, 3 wide receivers. Out they go. Everybody's out. Meyer's galloping around, takes off, crosses the 50, and skips out of bounds at the 45-yard line. He gains 5.
Good. That was a real good play by Myers. What they have done all day long is contain Zorn. When Myers in there, their thought process changes. That time they played Svensson off. They played Rizzo off. They didn't have a contained man. He got outside the defensive pass rush, picked up an easy 6 yards.
Right after our game, stay tuned for the wonderful world of Disney on most of these NBC stations. On the West Coast, the most mountain time zones. Glad to see they're getting mountain time in there finally. The wonderful world of Disney will be seen at its regular time.
All right, Kurt, this is a drive that could put the Western Division of the AFC in a 3-way tie.
Second down 5. San Diego has defeated Oakland today. 17-14, Denver ahead. We're in the last 3.5 minutes. The toss is intercepted by Gradishar. Laterals it off. It's recovered by Sherm Smith. Gradishar lateraled it off, and Smith went down and recovered it for Seattle, number 47.
Okay, before the ball game, we said, you know, it's one thing for Seattle to be in a big game. They haven't been in one. Denver's been in several. It's almost run-of-the-mill for them to be in a big ball game. They play one every week. Everybody's hunting for them. But they've played today on several occasions like I thought Seattle would. This is a perfect illustration of it. And possibly the best middle linebacker in the league makes the play. They've got the game in great position, big play. They try to get cute, throw a little lateral to there. They fumble it around, and Seattle's in a good position.
We have 3:13 to go in this game at the Seattle Kingdome. Seattle's now marching for the first time in the second half. They're trailing by just 3 points. Steve Meyer back up to Jim Zorn. This is what he likes to do, the roll left. He has a completed pass to the 31-yard line to his wide receiver, Sam McCullum. And we're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
You're watching Channel 5, KING-TV, Seattle.
Second down 5. Craig Morton, the quarterback of the Broncos, now getting anxious.
He's a little hot. They had the ball. They've been running the ball very well offensively on the ground. They possibly could have eaten up the clock. Now they've got to sit and wait. And I really think Patera put Meyer in primarily because they would change the defensive way that Denver plays.
Sold-out crowd of 64,000 here. We have 3 minutes and 8 seconds to go. 17-14 Denver. Seattle's on the march. Sherm Smith to the 28 of Denver, where he brought down by Randy Gradishar. And again, with 2:57 to play in this game, Denver has scored the only touchdown, the only score of the second half. Seattle had led at halftime. And now Seattle, for the first time in the second half, has moved the ball from deep in their own territory to the Denver 28-yard line, where they'll have a 3rd and 2. Denver ahead, 17-14. Steve Meyer's the man moving him. Youngster from New Mexico, quarterback. Gives the ball out to Don Testament, and Testament has a first down for Seattle.
Okay, what's happened? The offensive line for Seattle has come on again. They were stagnant throughout the end of the second quarter, throughout the third quarter. They changed the structure a little. They put Myers in. It changes the way Denver plays defense. Myers has brought them along. The offensive line is now doing their thing again, and they're starting to move the ball.
Reuben Carter leaves the game at nose guard. That means that Latimer will come in. Now here's a timeout. you know who it's been charged to. Officials timeout with, that's 2-minute warning. They just went to the 2-minute warning, and the Seattle fans on their feet with a score 17-14 Denver.
If your business takes you to the heart of a city, there's nothing like Hilton Rainbow Service. In Manhattan, it's right on Park Avenue at the Waldorf Astoria. Or if your business is pleasure, you'll find Rainbow Service at the fabulous Las Vegas Hilton and on beautiful Waikiki at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. Hilton Rainbow Service. You'll find it at the heart of every Hilton, in the heart of most every city.
There's no place like
What do you think of the Midas foreign car muffler guarantee?
It's a great day for my Datsun.
A triumph for my Triumph.
A victory for my Volvo.
From now on, you can Midas-size your foreign car and get the same famous guarantee we give American cars. It says if anything ever goes wrong, Midas will replace the muffler free as long as you own your car. Foreign car owners, now more than ever, it pays to Midas-size.
Whoop-de-doo for my Subaru.
There's Herrera. He's getting ready in case he's needed. If they go for a tying field goal, 2 minutes remaining, 2 timeouts for Seattle, 2 timeouts for Denver. This is Curt Gowdy, John Brody from the packed and jammed Kingdome in Seattle, Washington. An exciting windup.
I fully expect them to try and see if they can continue to run the ball on the ground. They've got 2 minutes. They don't want to give it back to Denver.
First down.
Well, that's how right I am.
Meyer, he's running. You're all right. He's at the 20. He goes down to the 19, and he gains 6 yards. Don't give up on yourself, kid.
Well, he was not intending to run the ball, and that's fine. He did what he had to do. There were no receivers open. He's sending both backs out. I don't think that's a design play. However, it sure developed as one. Take a look at, you can see the set.
Meyer throwing the ball with flags down to Testerman. Flags were dropped as the ball was in the air, and I believe it might be a check or interference. And this big crowd again stands up and starts to roar. This gutty young team, which was completely baffled by the Denver defense, suddenly found an answer. And they've taken the ball on their own 20-yard line. Was stopped. Denver took over. Then Seattle had it on their 21 and have marched now to the 14-yard line of Denver.
Illegal contact. Number 53 defense. Automatic first down.
That's on Gradishar, the middle linebacker, and a legal shot. You can only hit that receiver once within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage and no more.
There have not been an exorbitant amount of penalties in this game, and I don't think it can be said that a penalty up to here has indicated one thing or another. This game is an accurate indication, in my opinion, of the way the two teams have played.
Smith and a new player's in. Tony Benjamin, number 31. There he is in motion. Sherman Smith has it. Smith drives inside the 10 to the 8. Oh, they're getting in good shape now. John Grant hit him, and Bob Swenson, the outside linebacker. 74 yards for Sherman Smith in this game. And do they love their new Seahawks here in this town?
And do you blame them? Win, lose, or draw, Seattle has risen to the level they have to be.
Second down.
He's got
the toss. Overshoots Sherman Smith going into the end zone. A Wonderful World of Disney will be seen right after this game. And Centennial, Jane Michener's Centennial, will be seen at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Herrera getting all loose, stretched out.
We see him now. There would have been no need for him. However, had Meyer been able to pick out Sherman Smith early, he was running all alone. There was something that miscued in the defense of Denver. Bernard Jackson came over late, but he was nowhere near in time. Meyer just threw it over his head.
Now Herrera practicing the kick. 3rd down and 5. That interception by Gradishar, and then when he lateraled it off, set this up for Seattle. The pass incomplete at the goal line. Broken up there by Foley. It was intended for Largent. Another flag is down. Flag is down. Gradishar intercepted the pass. For those that weren't with us at the time, about 2 minutes ago, and then tried to lateral it off and lateral it to one of his own teammates who dropped the ball. Smith recovered it for Seattle, And then they went right on down the field after that.
Now they're being pushed back a little bit by a yellow flag.
Might be a holding call.
Very definitely it's a holding call.
This puts the ball back in the 19-yard line of Denver.
Holding. Number 76 offense. Takedown.
That's Steve August, the right tackle. Second time he's been called for holding.
A takedown. That's in wrestling, isn't it?
Takedown, huh? Third down and 15 on the 19-yard line of Denver. 3rd and 15 for a first down. 1 minute to go. 1 minute remaining. Seattle 3 points short. Meyer. That was deflected, and going for it was Grant. He couldn't reach it, number 63. And here comes Herrera. And we asked Herrera about a pressure place kick.
Well, the first thing that I usually think is try to keep my composure together and go back at the fundamentals and think of practice, the things I've done through the whole week, how well I've been kicking, and go out there and not to get nervous and do my job, because that's why I'm getting paid. But that's to try to keep my composure is the whole thing.
I'll tell you, every time I've tried to keep my composure, it means I've lost it already.
Well, he's getting paid to kick a 37-yard field goal that can tie this game with 56 seconds remaining. And the timeout is called by Denver. We had one left. I think that Mr. Herrera thinks a little more. We'll be right back after this message. Jim Zorn will spot the ball on the Denver 27. It makes it a 37-yard attempt by Efren Herrera. The kick is up, and we're tied. Herrera boots it, and the game is tied at 17-all.
All right, Denver did everything they could to take Herrera's attention off the importance, or put it on the importance and off the kicking of it. He's tied it up 17-17, and win, lose, or draw, Seattle has risen to the occasion. Watch Zorn's reaction after Herrera puts this thing in. He knows it's in. Don't hurt him now, Jim. He may have to kick another.
Herrera will kick off. Oakland has lost to San Diego. As we said, a Denver win would give Denver sole possession of first place in the Western Division of the American Football Conference. A Seattle victory here would put Oakland, Denver, and Seattle into a three-way tie for first place.
I know, and I'll tell you, I have the feeling that Seattle is not necessarily just going to kick this ball down the field. Now, they've tried 5 onside kicks this year in very unpredictable situations. They've recovered 4 of them. I don't know if he's got enough guts to do it in this particular situation, but if he does, I'm going to take my hat off to him.
Well, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Denver men at the 45-yard line of Seattle. Herrera's recovered one of those onside kicks himself.
There's no way this baby's going to be onside.
53 seconds. In the last 2 minutes of a game, the clock does not start until the ball is touched in the field of play. And he boots it high to get some coverage on it. Coming out, Jackson. Jackson rips his way over the 35 into the 37-yard line. Denver's ball. And the clock now reads 47 seconds remaining, and we're in a tie.
And Herrera's hurt.
Ren, let's see what happened to him on this replay.
Well, we mentioned, you know, he's a pretty good athlete. He's recovered one of his own onside kicks. Tom Jackson's trying to take him out of the play, and it looks to me as if Tom kind of caught him with a knee. Obviously, it wasn't intentional, but it could be very incapacitating for a very important part of the Seattle offense.
All right, the Broncos fought back. They were trailing 14-3. At halftime, it was 14-10 Seattle. Then Denver went ahead 17-14. Seattle was unable to move the ball at all. They finally took out their brilliant quarterback, Jim Zorn, and put Steve Meyer in, and he finally got him moving. A costly judgment. Randy Granishar intercepted a pass, decided to lateral it off. Denver would have had the ball frozen away 2 or 3 minutes, maybe preserved the victory. The lateral went astray. Seattle recovered and kept the drive going and tied the game.
Well, I think if I had a guy to pick that would never make that mistake, it would be Granishar. I'd expect him to make the interception.
They're trading Herrera. He's up, going out. Testerman is the other kicker, and he's not kicked this year. I mean, he hasn't had a chance.
Now, these are the problems that a kicker finds. They don't know how to protect themselves. They don't know how to block. And just because he couldn't protect himself, he got hit.
Well, in overtime, the loss of Herrera could be very important. And that's when blocked by Dennis Boyd, the left tackle, 68. He's doing his skip of joy. Second down, 10. Denver on their own 36. 42 seconds remaining in this regulation. If this thing winds up and tie, here's Lytle limping. He had an ankle injury earlier in the year. We'll go into a overtime period, only one in regular season. First team to score by any means would win. A sudden victory overtime.
You know, Seattle's defensive front four makes it very hard to throw in the middle because they're all very tall. They average better than 6'5", and they can get their hands in the air.
Second down, 10. Morton, a little short flip out. That's Preston, the rookie. Dave Preston of Bowling Green, and he's tackled in the secondary by Keith Thompson, also a rookie. Now the ball, Denver's trying to get right down there, and Denver now walks in and says timeout. And in the meantime, they're moving Herrera around. He looks to be all right, John.
I think he is, but you know, well, we'll get back to it in a minute, but Jack Patera made an awfully good move late in the fourth quarter that could have come up for a lot of controversy.
We'll be right back after this.
The Dutch have a saying that God created the world, but the Dutch created Holland. It's still happening. Each year, the Dutch Polder Authority reclaims another 10,000 acres from the sea and turns them into some of the most productive farmlands on Earth. Combines from Sperry, New Holland help keep productivity high. These machines are so versatile, they can harvest any crop that grows in the polders. So efficient and reliable, they can harvest tons of grain, even on ground that doesn't firm up completely for many years. From what was once the Zuider Zee, the Dutch now harvest waves of grain.
Another example of Sperry Rand Corporation.
Was injured earlier. He's 42. Herrera trying to walk off his injury. Third down and 2. Craig Morton throws it down the middle. Moses has it. Moses is to the 30-yard line for a first down, and Denver now with 15 seconds remaining hustling.
They're trying to get their field goal team in, Kurt. They're out of timeouts. We mentioned how important it was that they had one. They don't have one. They're confused. The clock is going to run out, and nothing's going to happen.
And the clock has run out. He sailed it out of bounds. They couldn't stop the clock. They had 15 seconds. Couldn't get the field goal team on the field. Morton was trying to get the snap and sail it out of bounds and stop the clock.
The big problem in a situation like that is they had timeout just about one play ago before they had their big play. There had to be some sort of communication confusion. Morton ran up to try and get the ball, get it out of bounds, and stop the clock. However, the field goal team was on its way into the field. I don't know why it happened, but at one time they had 15 people on the field. Morton showed his frustration by throwing his hands in the air like, what do you do with 15 guys out here? And the game's going into overtime.
They had a penalty against Denver. Of course, it was declined by Seattle. And now we'll have a 3-minute pause. They'll flip a coin. This is just like starting a new game in overtime. We've had quite a few of these this year in the National Football League. And Denver won the toss. They won the opening coin toss. And they naturally elect to receive, get the first shot at scoring. So, at the end of regulation play, the score is tied. Denver 17, Seattle 17. And we'll return with a sudden victory action in a moment after these messages from your local station.
There's a no-mobile leaving immediately.
There he is.
Take an outrageous ride in the No-Mobile tonight. Then, the story of America continues on Centennial.
You come to fight, huh? No, to establish a fort. Dear God, thank you for this life.
The No-Mobile, then Centennial tonight, starting at 7, 6 Central and Mountain.
Seattle Junior Theater Programs presents 3 great plays for children. Puss in Boots, One in a Basket, and The Doctor in Spite of Himself. For series tickets, call 622-7246.
Well, Fresh Gordon, how long has it been? 1978?
No, Ming. Rainier's been brewing the best since 1878. A toast to the next 100.
Spices, the essence of good cooking. Hi, I'm Bob Robertson, and you know, no one has more to do with good cooking than Crescent Foods. Crescent shops in over 40 countries to bring home the flavors people like. And who uses Crescent? Some of the nation's most famous food manufacturers, like Mrs. Smith's Pies, Farman's Pickles, Gay's Bakery. Now, if folks like that depend on Crescent, you can too. Crescent, it's the word for flavor.
You're watching KING-TV, Seattle.
Kurt Gowdy and John Brody in the Kingdom, Seattle, as we head into the overtime period. Jim Turner may be the man. Herrera has recovered from his banging into Tom Jackson, and he'll kick it off. He could be the fella. He tied this game with 53 seconds to go. By any means, a safety, a field goal, a touchdown, the first team to score, and the game is over.
You know, I mentioned earlier that Jack Patera made a decision that would really leave him open for controversy. He inserted Steve Myers with about 6-7 minutes left to go in the ball game. Jim Zorn wasn't having a good day, but I think he did it for the right reason. Sometimes I wouldn't agree. This time, Zorn was confused by inserting Myers. It changed the way Denver played defense. You have to defend Zorn differently than you do Myers. He was effective. He got the group together, ran him down for the tying field goal, and I think Patera has to get some credit.
You're absolutely right. Herrera's kickoff to either Jackson or Perrin is coming to Bernard Jackson on the 4-yard line. 15 to the 20. 25. Ridden down on his 29-yard line. Denver takes over. Cornell Webster and Doug Long cover that kickoff. He didn't run down that time. I think they told him, hey, kick it off and hide away from everybody.
I don't think they had to tell him a thing. He didn't look like he was running off the field either. He's just sucking it up right now. He's going to be awful sore on Tuesday.
Broncos ball, first down on their 29. If they win this game, they'll have sole possession of first place in their division. If Seattle wins, it'll be a 3-way tie among Oakland, Denver, and Seattle. And that is Otis Armstrong, who is brought down by Dennis Boyd. Armstrong carries it to the 36-yard line. Now somebody's shaken up on the Denver squad. 7-yard gain for Armstrong, second down 3. Keyworth has been their big runner today. Keyworth had 67 yards and just 7 carries, nearly 10 yards average. That's Jim Turner lacing up the high shoes.
You notice he doesn't wear those low-cut white jobs either anymore.
He's gone back to the Depression days.
Going back to where he's coming from.
First overtime, by the way, in the still infant history of the Seattle franchise. And coming off the field is Claudia Miner, the left tackle. Zorn talks to Sam McCullum. Second down 3. Canada comes in to replace Perrin in the Denver backfield.
It's amazed me, Kurt, how the offensive line for Denver has played as well as it has with as many injuries as they've had. And now Claudia Miner comes out with another one. They are really down on the short string.
Denver had the overtime against Minnesota, you'll remember. They meet that charge. That was Larry Canada, and he was hit by Terry Beeson, the middle linebacker. In fact, John, the Broncos say that extra point that was blocked at Minnesota, they wouldn't have needed an overtime. They would have won that one, and the blocked field goal in the last play of Baltimore last Sunday, they would have been 7-1. But if
and buts were candy and nuts, huh?
Right. 38-yard line of Denver. 3rd down and a long yard to go. Double tight end offense. Bob Moore's gone in there with Riley Odom. Armstrong and Canada, the running back. Armstrong. And Armstrong made that, I believe, on his own.
If he made it on his own.
I believe he's made it, John, but we'll see. They had 2 shots at him to stop him, and he kept sliding out there, then finally put that power on him.
If he didn't, John Harris is the man that made the stop. He came in and just helped out a tackle and took him back across the line. I can't tell.
It's going to be very close. A Wonderful World of Disney, already in progress, will be seen over most of these stations right after our game, which is in overtime. Well, I don't know.
It's within an inch.
Centennial will be seen at 8 o'clock Eastern time. He's made it by an inch. Watch this really second effort by Otis Armstrong.
Second effort both offensively and defensively. And the tough part is Otis gets turned sideways. Now for him to get back his momentum to go forward. And you see Beeson stops him. Harris comes up and tries to stop him. I'll tell you that. When you get it to within an inch, that's cutting it pretty thin.
Denver's ball, 1st down on their 40. Looks like the 39, but always go to the next yard marker, an official NFL statistic. Play action pass. Morton is being rushed. Throws it right into a mess of blue people. And the blue wave was there, but he couldn't hold on to it. Autry Beeman. I want to announce that in the West Coast at Mountain Time, Centennial will be seen at its regular scheduled time. And so will the Wonderful World of Disney. Now we have that straight. We look at Mr. Morton's statistics, 11 out of 27. 2nd down, 10. Denver on their 40.
Neither quarterback has had what you'd call a statistically fine day. However, both teams have been relatively effective moving the ball on offense. And I think the defensive secondaries have both played so well that it's very hard for either quarterback to have a good day.
2nd down, 10. A draw play. And that is Lonnie Perrin. Perrin to the 46, tackled by Charles McShane of Cal Lutheran. Linebacker in replacement of Sammy Green. Spotters have been Ron Lux, Gary Moore. We want to thank Joe Costanza for his research and statistics. Denver has the ball. Time remaining in the overtime, 12:39. The game is tied 17-17. Seattle tied it on a field goal, 53 seconds remaining in regulation. 3rd down and 4. Denver on their 46. Odom's in motion. Morton. Little quick flip. Armstrong 1st down to the 46-yard line of Seattle. A flag has been dropped.
Been dropped in a bad place, too, if you're playing offense.
Or if you're a Denver fan. Armstrong knows it. Look at him. Holding against Denver. That takes the 1st down away from them.
They're liable to start a petition that says outlaw the holding penalty because this baby is costly.
They can't get it straight where to put it. 36 it should be. There it is.
I'm glad we couldn't make out whose number it was.
I think it was Claudia Minor.
Well, let's pretend we don't know.
is Claudia Minor. That's right. 3rd down, 13. Out it goes.
And here we got
a flag down. Flag drop. 25 Moses. Morton feathered that ball up.
We got 2 of them.
We got another flag down behind Morton. One in the secondary. Another one behind the quarterback. 2 flags have been dropped.
got a lot of the blue shirts walking back to the line of scrimmage.
Number 76, offense. Pass interference. Number 27, defense. The penalties nullify one another. Repeat the down.
That holding was on 76, Tom Neville. Pass interference, offsetting penalties. We'll play it again, Sam, at 3rd and 13. Armstrong checks into the Bronco backfield.
Okay, we'll be able to see the interference. I doubt we'll be able to see the holding. He puts the ball right up there in a pretty good spot. You can see Beeman coming in just a little over-aggressive on Moses. All for naught. Back to the line, 3rd and 13.
Upchurch to the left, Moses to the right. The 3rd down pass. Right on the money, and Upchurch couldn't hold on to it. Denver will have to relinquish the ball.
Terry Beeson made an excellent play. When you're that big at 245, playing pass coverage the way he did, they haven't been effective throwing in the middle all day long. That is a pretty good middle linebacker.
Seattle fans give a standing ovation to their team. The defensive squad that has stopped Denver. Now it'll be up to Denver's defense to stop Seattle. 12 minutes, 7 seconds remaining in the overtime. Bucky Dilts in punt formation.
The last 3 games, Kurt, they've beaten Minnesota and Oakland. Putting Denver on their list would have to take them out of the area of also Reds.
Rufus Crawford on the 32, and he's nailed immediately. Covering that is Dave Preston, the rookie, number 46. Seattle's ball, 1st down. Now let's see what they do. If they win this, young expansion team in just its 3rd year, set a record last year of 5 wins for the most by an expansion team in the 2nd year, would be in a tie for 1st place in their division with the season over, halfway over.
Somebody asked Patera Kurt how he felt about his chances of winning the division. He said, I think we'd have to be awful lucky. He said, but I'm not against it. I don't mind being lucky.
1st down. Steve Meyer remains the quarterback. He led him on that last gas drive to tie it up. Here's a double reverse. It's off to Rabel, the flanker. They're waiting for him. Svensson was right there. Smart play by Svensson. He crossed the line of scrimmage, stood his ground. He didn't chase anybody. And he was waiting on the double reverse when Rabel came back from the other side of the field.
He was, but Steve Meyer gave Rabel a chance. Had he gotten by Svensson, there was no pursuit. He made a good block down on the defensive end. That's a tough thing for a quarterback to do. He's not asked to do it very often, and everybody's doing their thing.
2nd down, 10. Seahawks in their 33. Meyer looking to field over. The pass is to Rabel, Georgia Tech, at the 37-yard line of Seattle. A 4-yard advance. 3rd down and 6 for the Seahawks. Well, I don't know how this game's going to come out and what happens the rest of the year. All I know is this is no longer just an expansion team. This is now a competitive team for a division title from now on.
And I think the fact, and I agree, Kurt, and I think the fact that so many people are getting a chance to see Seattle playing in their first really big game, they got to get the same opinion.
3rd down and 6 for Seattle. Big rushes on him. Floats it out. Knocked down by Bill Thompson, 36. It was intended for Steve Largent, and they really shadowed him today. Largent has caught only 1 pass, and he's the 2nd leading pass receiver in the American Conference coming into the game.
And Reuben Carter, Barney Chavis, and Lyle Alzado had a little team meeting back at the quarterback just as he got rid of the ball.
Punt formation for Herman Weaver and Rick Upchurch. The slippery eel is back there. He returned one for 53 yards. They all grab a hold of him, but nobody can hold on to him. Here's the punt. Upchurch will field this on the 32. Gets to the 35, and he goes out of bounds. They had that one covered. He's out of bounds on his 38-yard line. Denver gained 2 yards on the exchange of punts. Right after our game, stay tuned for the wonderful world of Disney on most of these NBC stations. On the West Coast and most Mountain Time Zone stations, the Wonderful World of Disney will be seen at its regular times. Centennial is seen at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, which we're rapidly approaching. Red Miller. Handoff coming through is Preston to the 50. Preston, the rookie, goes to the 45.
You know, he runs so much like Rob Lytle, you almost can't distinguish between the two without the jersey numbers. And when you have two guys that run a little bit like Rob Lytle, you've got two outstanding football players. Dave Preston came along, not highly heralded, made the team the tough way by making a few big plays in the exhibition season, has come on and played in the league season just like he did then. And for a rookie, this guy is coming fast.
Yes, and he's been excellent on the kick teams today, covering punts. He's carried the ball twice for 27 yards. Perrin fumbled. Seattle has it. Lonnie Perrin fumbled the ball. Seattle recovered. And down on the ball is Autry Beeman, the safety.
And you know, I don't think anybody in the house saw the fumble that was playing on the field except Autry Beeman. It flipped around the back of the pack. Beeman just kind of coyly stuck in there, slipped it out of the group, and that's a big turnover. Take a look. Here's Lonnie Perrin. The ball gets jerked loose just as he goes in. You can see it coming around the back of the pack. The only man that saw it was Beeman.
There it is again. He goes in there. And out it pops. Right on it was Beeman. Seattle has the ball on their 41-yard line with a first down. Denver gave up the ball after an interception, threw a lateral away, and now they fumble the ball in overtime away. Zorn is back into the lineup. He played action fake. He hit up with the ball. Interception is Foley. Foley's back to the 50, and he's out of bounds, and Denver has the ball right back again.
Oh, don't fault Jim Zorn. That ball was thrown just as well as the ball can be thrown. Would have been a great play offensively if Sherman Smith had hung on. Little flare pattern trying to beat a linebacker. He just kind of inserted Zorn in the lineup. Play action pass on first down. This ball had all the zip you could handle. He beats Tom Jackson. The ball's on the spot. Foley makes a great play and a turnover.
Now it's Denver's ball on the Seattle 36. Denver had the ball the last time a play ago on the Seattle 45. Look at that pass right there. Off Smith's hands and to Steve Foley's hand, his 5th interception of the season. Fake up the middle. Goes Larry Canada. They faked to Preston wide and then gave it up the middle to Canada, number 35. It is on the 31-yard line of Seattle.
Against Oakland, when Denver had to do something, make a drive in the late stages of the game, Larry Canada carried a big burden. They gave him the ball about 6 times in a row. Right now, he's in a position to be able to help his club doing what he does the best. Straight ahead running, everybody get a piece. 8
minutes, 45 seconds remaining in overtime. It's tied 17-all. Seattle tied it with 53 seconds to play. Otis Armstrong tripped up at the 28-yard line of Seattle by Cornell Webster, the left cornerback. He had some help there from Charlie McShane, the linebacker. They have a 3rd down and 2.
They're way within Jim Turner's field goal range. I doubt that you'll see them try anything fancy. He can kick it from 44 with ease just by getting his foot into it. That's what it would be if the ball stays at the line of scrimmage.
Boy, they like to have that first down and move it closer. Double tight end offense. Blocking power in there. Off to Canada. Canada is stopped short of the first down. Seattle just submarine got under there, and they were waiting. And even the powerful Canada, look at that, a yard short, says Tom Neville, the right tackle. All right, it is now 4th down. And a short yard to go.
It's not short enough. I don't think you'll, well, I'm wrong.
They're going for it.
They're having a go at it.
Jim Turner does not get a chance to win it with a field goal. They're going to try and pick up the first down and then keep moving it. Game tied 17-all in overtime, 7:39 to go. Armstrong, Perrin the backs. Perrin hit but has the first down as he fell backward over the 25 to the 24-yard line of Seattle.
You know this man was going to do everything he could to pick up that just short of a yard distance. The man had an unfortunate fumble at an unfortunate time. Fortunately, they got it back. He picks up the first down, and this is a big one.
First down for the Denver Broncos on the Seattle Seahawks 24. There's a new set of running backs, Canada and Preston. Two first-year players. That's Canada. Canada carries a man with him to the 20-yard line. Now they're moving it even closer for Jim Turner. A 4-yard gain. It's second down, 6 for the Broncos. There's Turner. 15-year veteran. He's been in a lot of pressure situations with the Jets. Had an excellent field goal day against the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl III. Banged 2 through in the third period.
Jim Turner, you know he's getting a little bit antsy. He's taking a few deep breaths and a lot of strides along that sideline.
The Jets traded him on to Denver. We got that old Mountaineer revived him out there. He's had a fine career with the Denver Broncos. Always had 2 outstanding careers, one in the East and one in the Rocky Mountains. Red Miller looks on. Jack Patera, the Seattle coach, second down, 6. Canada again. He has more yardage, and he's to the 14-yard line. He's very close to a first down.
I think that he's got it.
He was brought down by Steve Niehaus, the right tackle. Interesting decision by Red Miller, John. Instead of going for that field goal on 4th down and a yard to go, they went for the first down.
Well, that's the kind of decision that differentiates coaches from unemployed. He was effective. He's been the kind of guy that's willing to put his job on the line. He's willing to make a decision. His job is not in any danger, obviously. You see the man with the headset. His viewpoint is we got a better chance of picking up the first down, getting in field position, and scoring a touchdown than we would have with Jim kicking a field goal.
They have a first down and a Seattle 14 in overtime. Game tied 17-17. John Keyworth. Just a couple. Look at him. Hey, another yard. He's almost to the 10-yard line. Low driving legs like pistons.
Well, all their backs have had real good days running the ball, and you can't say enough about the guys that are up there in the front in the trenches paving the way, because they've really been hurt. Claudia Minor's been hurting some today. What do we see in the first drive? You know, Schindler can't play. Howard can't play. Then they finally put in Hyde. Hyde has a great day. Their whole offensive line's done the job for them.
5 minutes to play in overtime. Second down, 7 for Denver. Otis Armstrong to the 5, knocked down at the 4, maybe the 3 where he fell down. And he may have his first down. It'd be first and goal. Keith Butler, the right linebacker, stopped him. Clock moving along. Perrin is coming into the game in the backfield. Fresh backs. They've alternated 6 backs today. Keep running fresh backs in, and they're not tired in this overtime period. First down and goal to go for the Denver Broncos. First and goal to go. That's Perrin. Perrin cutting back. They take him at the 2-yard line. We've had some excellent coverage here. All the shots today by our producers, George Finkel, Ted Nathanson, and Ted also has been directing today's game. Hope you've enjoyed it. We're in overtime. 3:50 to play. Jim Turner said, I may not have to do it.
I think they've shown you about all there is to see of the Seattle Seahawks. We've tried to cover all their people as well as we can, and it's the first national exposure they've had. I think they're going to have several more opportunities this year.
This has just been a grinding 36-yard march. Otis Armstrong. He's not over.
And there's a penalty flag down too, Kurt.
They're trying to do anything to jar that ball loose. This is frustration. 64,000 fans here in the Kingdome just sitting back now. What can they do about it? Watching Denver relentlessly grind down the field. It's a frustration over there in the Seattle bit. Offside against Seattle. Half the distance to the goal penalty. Denver's had 270 yards rushing today. And if they score, they will be the sole occupant of first place in the Western Division of the American Conference.
Offside, number 62, defense. Repeat, second down.
Offside, it's second down and a yard to go for a Denver touchdown that can win the game in overtime. The clock is 3:21 remaining. In the regular season, they only play one overtime. This for the playoffs or Super Bowl, they'd keep playing until somebody won. Second down, a yard to go. Canada. Oh, they blast him. They stop him. They blasted him. He was hit. He's a load to stop, too.
Dave Brown and Audrey Beeman both just took their best shot and said, we hope Canada gets the ball because that's where we're going. They met right at the line of scrimmage, and they stood him straight up. And that's a lot of meat to stand straight up.
Now it's third down and a half yard to go for a touchdown. Patera hasn't changed expression all day.
That's the way Jack Patera is. He's not going to let the flow change, win, lose, or draw.
All right, here we go. Canada, Armstrong, the running back. Armstrong. And they pile him up.
They did not
He can't get it over. 3 cracks at that goal line right down there. They had first and a yard and a half to go, and they're still short, and fourth down coming up. And Jim Turner is going to come on. And now he pressed for the duty for the field goal. They put the net up behind the goal post. A short shot for Jim Turner.
He's about as certain a short field goal kicker as there is in the game. He has had a few blocked, however, this year. They've had problems with their field goal team, but that doesn't mean Jim Turner's foot has not been effective. When they give him time, he'll get the ball through there.
This will be an 18-yard attempt. 2:10 to go in overtime. The kick is up. And a flag is down. The kick. Flag is dropped. I never did see a signal on the kick.
That flag was thrown way back in the end zone.
Maybe against Seattle. Did you see a signal on the kick? Illegal procedure against Seattle. Miller, what's happening?
Well, he knows how fortunate he is right at this time. I would like to hear what the official has to say.
I never saw a signal whether the kick was good or not. Did you, John?
It was not good.
No,
I could see that.
It was slid off.
Illegal procedure. 12 men on the field on defense.
12 people on the field.
Good. Repeat, fourth down.
Kick was no good. 12 men on the field. Seattle would have held him with a tremendous goal line defense. Let's watch it.
Well, I did not see anybody run on the field when Denver came in to kick the field goal. I just wonder if there might have been 12 men on the field to play before.
Well, Turner gets another chance. He missed that short one. This is the second life for him. The kick is up, and that kick is good, and Denver wins it. Denver wins it 2017, and they're mighty lucky to come out with that one.
They know they've been in a football game, Kurt.
Right.
Seattle just played their hearts out. Denver they were big enough to meet the task, got away with the ball game away from home. It's just a heck of a ball game.
What a goal line stand by Seattle. 3 times they stopped Denver within the 1-yard line. Denver missed the field goal. Seattle then would have had the ball on the 20, but Seattle had 12 men on the field. Red's laughing down there. It was no laughing matter if Seattle hadn't had that penalty. And so we'll be back here, and the score again, final in overtime, 20-17. Denver wins it.
Hi, I'm Carlo Rossi. I've been in the wine business almost a half a century. One thing I've learned is you got to have it in the bottle. It's not fancy labels or advertising that sell good wine. It's the taste, like our Carlo Rossi Van Rosé. It's soft and light with a flavor that only comes from years of experience. I like talking about Carlo Rossi Van Rosé, but I'd rather drink it.
Here, right back in there.
Gordon Hall has a headache.
Will you try extra strength Tylenol?
Okay. Compare regular aspirin, the leading extra ingredient pain reliever, and extra strength Tylenol. Extra strength Tylenol has more medicine.
The headache is entirely gone.
What pain reliever would you choose the next time you have a headache?
I would go out and I would buy extra strength Tylenol.
Extra strength Tylenol. They're aspirin free, and you can't buy a more potent pain reliever without a prescription.
I'm ready to go.
A wild ending to a game here in the Kingdome. The kick by Jim Turner was no good. From this angle, you couldn't tell when you saw it on our replay. With the angle looking directly at the goalpost, you could see it was no good. 12 men on the field. What happened? The 12th men try to get off the field, and you have to go off on your own sideline between the goal line. He ran out of the back of the end zone. That's against the rules, and they were penalized 5 yards for illegal procedure, gave Turner another chance, and he booted it through in overtime. The play that set it up, though, was Zorn was brought back into the game, and he threw a perfect strike to Smith, the running back. He couldn't hold on to the ball. Here it is. It deflects. Good pass here, John.
Well, Jim Zorn, you know, coming off the bench, having been benched for the last 7 minutes, letting Steve Meyer come in, get their field goal for them, put the ball in a perfect spot. I think Seattle's to be commended because they played Denver right down to the post. Denver got the break they needed to win. So goes back to Denver in first place.
Foley intercepted that pass, his 5th of the year, ran it back to the Seattle 36, and then Denver grounded down there and finally won it. We'll be right back with a final look at the game after these messages from your local station.
The Story of America continues on Centennial tonight on NBC.
The Seahawks battled the Broncos this afternoon in a rematch of an earlier contest. Jim Zorn tested the Orange Crush while the Seattle defense had to contain a team that beat them just 4 weeks ago. Find out from head coach Jack Patera just what happened in the Kingdome today. Jack will be answering questions from a studio audience, reviewing the game, and checking out the other scores in the NFL. Tune in for the details on today's game, not one played yesterday. The Jack Patera Show with Ray McMacken, tonight at 6, live on King 5. This is King 5.
Disappointed crowd has left the Kingdome. 64,000 fans, 3rd sellout in a row. Their young team just fell short today. They took Denver into overtime. Denver now winning in overtime is the leader of the Western Division. Oakland was defeated today by San Diego, so Denver's on top. And for most of you fans watching the game, the Wonderful World of Disney Now will not be seen. However, Centennial will be seen on the NBC network at its regular time. West Coast and Mountain Time zones, the Wonderful World of Disney will be seen at its regular times. We've had the Wonderful World of the NFL here today. There are the standings, John, in the AFC West.
Well, except for one penalty call, except for a little of this, it was a should-have-been, could-have-been type of day. Denver now leads in the AFC. San Diego really got themselves back to where at least they can get into a position for a wild card spot. These guys are all playing each other again during the year. It's going to be some kind of finish. I've always loved the AFC and the Western Conference of it. It looks like they have 4 teams going to be fighting each other right down the wire.
You mean you always loved the AFC when you were with the 49ers?
Oh, I like them now because I'm cashing their checks. Yeah, right. But I have always liked the West Coast, and I think they have a very representative group of this whole country.
That's twice now that Denver's defeated Seattle this year. Seattle has a return engagement with Oakland down in Oakland.
Well, and Oakland's going to have their hands full again. This is not just a Johnny-come-lately team. They got together an awful lot sooner than they had expected to be able to get together. As a matter of fact, that trade with Dallas might have helped their whole draft structure a couple of years. They got 3 seconds and a first that are all playing a lot of football for them. Their middle linebacker, Terry Beeson, had a fine game. Defensively, they played very well. Offensively, they played almost good enough to win. Jim Zorn had a bad day, and they still stayed in the game. So I just say this team is not all Jim Zorn. It's a whole lot of young players that are after it.
Well, they showed me something on that goal line stand.
I couldn't believe it. You know, they called him for 12 men on the field. I wonder if they might have had 12 men on third and second down, because they played like they had 12 men. If they didn't, a goal line stand like that can really solidify your whole defense for games to come. I think it did a lot to help a young, aggressive, good team. And you know Denver is right at the top.
Well, as we said earlier, whether Seattle won or lost this game. That notice has been served now. From now on, they are as competitive as any team in their division, and they're right with all the clubs in the American Football Conference, the way the competition has been balanced out. And we'll be back again right after this message. What's that old song, what a difference a day made? What a difference a few seconds made for Jim Turner after missing this short field goal, same distance, 12 men on the field for Seattle. He kicks this one through, very nonchalant, starts to the Denver locker room.
Well, you know he's a little hot. He doesn't miss field goals from 12, 13 yards. Now he's shaking one finger. He should have put up 1 for 2, as that's what he actually hit. It might change the whole flow of things for Jim Turner, who's been a good kicker. Their field goal team hasn't been as effective as they could be. But I just think it was such an exciting game. It's the kind of game that we've seen in the AFC all year long.
And Turner missed that short one. I was watching the ball go up in there. Did he have a lot of pressure?
Well, I don't think he had an undue amount. I think if he'd have got it up, it would have gone in. He's just thanking the stars that he got another chance.
And he did get that chance, and it won for the Denver Broncos in overtime, late in overtime. And the final score again is Denver 20 and Seattle 17. So Jim Zorn looks on. The executive producer of NBC's NFL Football is Don O'Meara. The telecast of today's game has been produced by George Finkel and Ted Nathanson. Directed by Ted Nathanson. Associate Director Jim Marcioni. Next Sunday is NFL Football, beginning with NFL 78 at 12:30 Eastern Time. Check your local listings. Now stay tuned for Centennial. On the West Coast, at most Mountain Time Zone stations, the wonderful world of Disney will be seen at its regular time.
On Lifeline, and